on, we're fine.
Okay, we just hit start streaming.
We hit start streaming. So does that mean we're on? Oh wait, we still have the Udicci thing up there.
Yeah.
Did you put anything in here?
Okay.
Are there any? Oh, they're there.
Alright.
Okay.
So let me know when it's a go, because we're gonna go and make it flow. And
Is there a Wi-Fi still on here? Yes.
Yeah, you should be able to get
Which one?
Udicci.
Oh, it just disappeared. Udicci was there.
Everything is alright. Oh, baby,
You ready?
you're gonna get away this time. And are we? I'm ready. Oh, what's the password?
Engage at blue.
Engage at blue.
Engage.
Engage.
Capital E.
No.
Okay, are we ready?
Yeah.
Tell me the countdown in.
Is it 18?
No, that's it.
Welcome to Udicci.TV. We're at Blue Bar and Grill today, where we are pretty much each and every week, except for, well, we're going to be taking a break. So welcome to our special early edition of Udicci.TV. Today, our episode or our event, whatever you want to call it, is Renewal. And if you'd like to come out to Blue Bar and Grill, we welcome you down here. Tonight we're going to be launching a new business. There's a lot of exciting things going on. But tonight we're really going to be talking about legacy and what it really means to kind of prosper, if you will, and what prosperity means. And it may not sound like that as we go through everything, but that's exactly what it is that we're going to be talking about. Is we're going to be talking about prosperity and how it is we can go about finding that in our own lives and in our communities. Specifically, we're going to be talking about personal and team growth, and then entrepreneurship, and kind of the difference that entrepreneurship has made in individuals' lives, and how if you choose and you want to embark on an endeavor, if you've ever felt like, you know what, maybe entrepreneurship was for you, how we can help you, or if you want help. But that's kind of what we're all about, is community. And I guess where I'd want to start tonight is why renewal, and why now, and what is this all about, and why do this thing about legacy. And I want to just kind of share with you that recently it's really become dear to my heart is the concept of autumn. And what autumn really means and what fall really means when you kind of look at what's involved, what's going on here in nature. And realistically, if you think through what's happening in nature, all the leaves are shedding, but they're not just shedding, they're actually providing life for the next generation. You see, if you think about nature, what's happened is early in the spring, way back in April and May, right, we started seeing buds that were coming up through the ground. But where did those seeds come from? And what provided the nourishment? And all throughout this summer, we've seen our trees grow lush green. And those roots that have been established for many, many, many years have grown deep into the soil, and they're taking nutrients out of the soil. And they're taking the energy from the sun, and they're using their leaves, and they're creating life within themselves. And they're providing just such energy, and each and every living thing actually creates its own seed. And if we think about a tree, if you will, the trees in our own backyard, they drop the seeds. Now some of them, we got those helicopter things, right? Those are a lot of fun. We throw them up in the air, and we watch them come down. And they're a ton of fun up until the point that you're, say, I don't know, a little bit older, and they clog up all your gutters. But nonetheless, those are seeds that get dropped. And nature is really giving itself back to the next generation. And after those seeds have been dropped, then we start to see the changing of the leaves. And those leaves that once harnessed the energy of the sun start to come back, and they fall, and they provide nutrients for the next generation. And what they're doing there is they're just covering those seeds, and the leaves that fall on those break down, and they become compost, if you will. And from that, next year's life finds the nutrients and the strength to grow. So that's where we're at right now, is we kind of recognize that everything has a season. And when you grow, there are wonderful things that you learn. And in life, right, unlike maybe the tree that kind of just gets what it's doing, in life and in entrepreneurship and in community development and really, quite frankly, personal growth, what very often happens is we set out on some sort of a journey and we see the way set before us. And we start to go down a path, and as we go down that path, we make mistakes and we learn, and hopefully we're opening our hearts and we're healing, and hopefully we're reaching out to others and we're learning from them. And if we're doing it right, we're coming into community with one another, and we're strengthening, and we're encouraging, and we're supporting one another. We're supporting one another with those experiences in life that we have learned, and we're hoping to pour out those experiences like nutrients that come back and help one another grow. And that is exactly where Udicci is at right now. And for those of you who have tuned in throughout this 2014 production season, we truly want to thank you. Undoubtedly, this year has been far more than anything we could have imagined. If we could have shown you the plans that we had at the beginning of the year and what we have now, you'd somewhat laugh, because a good probably 80% of them, maybe not that many, maybe 60% of them were never accomplished. Yet the results that we have are undeniable and more than we could have hoped. They're different, they look different, they've taken different form. But what's happened is we've grown stronger. We've learned more. We've made more mistakes, and we fixed them. And we're starting to be able to move much quicker. And what often happens in small businesses, people start to watch. And that's what happened in this year. People started to watch. People started to talk. People started to hear about what was going on down at Blue Bar and Grill. People started to get involved. We had wonderful people like Amanda Ashley, who's going to be joining us here shortly. She came out with Afternoon Cocktail, and she brought a whole host of people down to Blue Bar and Grill. And we got on to Udicci.TV, and we started hearing about more and more people about what was going on in the community. And then, of course, there's Julio and Tag on Real Talk 360, and they have just, but they've helped us to see the heart of Rochester. If you guys do not know Julio and Tag personally, you should. These are two men who really, truly care for their friends. They are loyal. They will go above and beyond just to show people that they care, and they always want to help. And they've done that this season on Real Talk 360. They've brought in people who wanted to make a difference in our city. They've brought in people who are making a difference in our city. And they've brought in people who have experienced the worst that our city has to offer and how they came through it. They brought people who wanted to and could offer hope to others. They offered a helping hand. They said, "Here, let us help you up." And for them, we will be and are eternally grateful. We have new friends like Tess Padmore. We knew nothing of Tess early on this year, and she has just opened the doors to so many. And the list could go on and on and on. And undoubtedly, by now, if you've watched it all, you know David Day from the Institute of Social Entrepreneurship. And if there is one man that I can say I am so grateful for, it is David. David has really helped put clarity to what it is we're doing, and is perhaps one of the first people who has truly understood the mission and what it is that we're doing with Udicci. And he has introduced us to so many people that it has just opened so many doors. And we're very grateful to say that while we will be kind of taking a little break, we are more like that seed, if you will. We're more like that seed that has grown over this past year. And we now want to go and take and learn, what did we do well? What do we need to improve? And how can we improve? And we want to take those things and plant those. And we want to plant that into fertile ground, because we know that next season is going to be something very special. Now, oftentimes we don't share everything that's going on with the company online. We want you to come out. We want you to experience it. But I will tell you now that next year we will be opening in other cities. Next year we will begin doing something in the marketplace that absolutely nobody else in America is doing right now. We are going to be coordinating and helping support community development. We have created an infrastructure of technology that's going to allow for community growth down from the individual, up through teams, entrepreneurs, schools, communities, and towns, and we're already out there doing it. Now, that's not the story you often hear when you watch Udicci.TV, but that is the story of Udicci. It is up to us and it is for us to help deliver hope to our communities. And it is our hope that you will join us in giving back that hope. So with that, we're going to go into our personal growth segment. And I guess what I'd like to do is kind of go off script a little bit just because the timing is such. And this is when I asked Miss Ashley to come here. Amanda has never had the opportunity to actually sing on Udicci.TV, and it's the one talent that we've kind of kept hidden from everybody. We don't know why that has happened, but we have done that. So what I'd like to do is actually bring Amanda up here to just kind of perform for a song now, and then maybe you can join me for some chit-chat, and we'll go from there. So come on up, and I will set up the mics here. Okay.
Too close?
No, I think we should. Hello?
Are you back on here?
Back on.
Do a little quick sound check. Do the guitar.
When I'm getting
Bring that up a little bit. Amanda?
Yes.
Bring up the guitar a little more.
Bring it up?
No. These guys. Take it away when you want to do it. You come on, this is your show now.
Well, I know we're talking about change, so this song kind of goes along with it. It's called Ferris Wheel, and I wrote it a year ago when I was traveling down south. Nashville was the focal point of my trip, and the actual part of the trip that probably meant the most and had the most impact on me was between Atlanta and I did Atlanta, Birmingham, and then Memphis. And I spent a few days in Memphis. Then went off to Nashville. And I just realized a lot about myself and the direction I was going in, and how when I returned, so many changes needed to take place, and I knew it was going to be really hard. But I used my experiences kind of guide me through, and to remain on a positive path forward. You have so much to say. Friend on our side, love necessitates in my shame, lying in the shame. Ooh, and I want to know what you hide on those walls that you built. No, oh. Ooh. But my heart stops beating, and I don't believe it's too late. 'Cause if my spirit is wheels, one time, but in real again, my heaven all beats again. Oh no, anytime I can breathe, oh yeah, breathe again. Oh no, the other time I can breathe, oh yeah, breathe again. 'Cause do you know how I feel? The other time I can breathe, oh. Sometimes your heart just feels sometimes to release every mind. I speak to you in lyrics. Did you know I have so much to say? Sit my spirit wheels, wanna know, wanna feel, wanna try, but it's real. My every heartbeat again. I also know how I feel inside. I can breathe, oh yeah, breathe again. 'Cause I know how I feel. Yeah, I try, I can breathe, oh yeah, breathe again. Oh, how I feel inside. I can breathe, oh. I speak to you with lyrics. Did you know I have so much to say?
Alright, you wanna chat or you wanna sing?
Let's chat.
Alright, let's chat. You're like in a chatty mood. What's up with that? You should be singing.
I don't know. I'm always in a chatty mood.
Alright, you're always in a chatty mood. Alright, let's get this. You wanna knock this out for Tim? And,
I turned them off.
You turned off one?
Yeah, we move this one back over.
And you know what we should ask, like, once we get this done here, is that, I'll get the,
Can you, give it the voice back?
Yeah.
you actually can sit there.
Unless you
What is it?
do you want me
I'll
to
take it for you.
So, let's see here. Are we back live, Justin? How's our sound? Are we back on the sound and we're good? All right, Miss Ashley, would you like to drink?
you know, the water is phenomenal.
Wait. Are we waiting? We are waiting?
Oh yeah, we have to wait. We have to readjust the cameras again.
Oh, hello, cameras. Welcome back, cameras. You could. Oh, you got it. Absolutely. And there goes Amanda. And just like that, she'll be back. What are you doing? What were the? Oh, you had like.
And my little foot camera.
She had her tambourine on her foot.
On your foot?
Yeah.
Okay.
Best $10 investment of my life.
It's pretty bad.
So, Miss Ashley, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Are you great?
Yeah.
This is our renewal show, so we can get down to the heart, the core of the matter, right? The whole idea. I don't know if you did. I tell you the whole reason behind renewal? I love it.
Yes.
Okay. And right, it's the whole idea of like seeds and getting replanted and then they can regrow, right? So
Rosh Hashanah.
yes. So you know how like at the very, very core of the seed is all the truth, all the reality of that the next life.
Yeah.
Right? It only holds that, right? So truthfully, how you doing?
But I mean, if you put it that way, I mean, I think I really I mean, like, at the root of the things that aren't so good, I feel like my seeds are kind of growing day by day. So, like, my plant is coming along, and I feel good about that.
This year, you put out an album called Metamorphosis.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember having a conversation with you. You kind of said that this really was, like, you felt like you were coming into your own.
Oh, yeah.
Have you come out of your cocoon yet?
No, I feel like you're always constantly upping yourself. I mean, that's what I strive to do, you know, like...
Upping yourself? Oh, upping!
Yeah,
upping.
like...
Making yourself better.
Making an upgrade, you know?
Yes,
like,
yes.
I forever feel like there's never gonna be a point where I can't upgrade a little bit. And whether it be personally, professionally, like, all around, like, there's always things to work on and to achieve and aspire towards, so I just kind of keep that in mind, and when things aren't so good, I try to figure out ways to put myself in a healthier state, you know?
It's important. And I think that that's a big piece. So part of our first agenda today was to talk about that kind of personal growth. And I think you just hit on it is, here's the reality. And I'm going to go really far out on a limb here, and I hope you're not offended when I say, you've probably made a couple mistakes in life.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Every day.
Right. We've all made mistakes, right? And honestly, here's the reality. Sometimes those mistakes hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes those mistakes hurt at the very core of our being. But if we allow those to be the things that stop us from growing, right, we've really screwed up. We've really screwed up. If we allow that pain to stop us from, going forward, and we, that's why we have forgiveness, if you will. So a piece of today, which we're going to kind of talk about, I want to talk about like taking personal responsibility, right? Mm-hmm. And now we're talking primarily in the realm of entrepreneurship, but we've had this conversation ongoing for this year that the reality is that responsibility begins with how we handle other people and what we do with other people, and if we do hurt them,
and how we handle ourselves too.
How we handle ourselves.
Here's the thing with life, like you always have choices, and we've talked about this so many times, and like mistakes are going to happen. What makes us human is our mistakes. So, if you're not making mistakes, then you're probably either delusional or you're not living your life to a point where you're challenging yourself.
You're not taking any risk,
yeah.
So you're not going to see any change. The other day I was talking to Tim about this, and I thought it was interesting. And your whole point about life, right, and choices. And when you think about the choices you have, it's kind of like yes, no, or maybe, right? And people love to live in the maybe because that makes them feel like, it's like, oh, maybe, because that's like, maybe I'll jive in. But really, maybe is the same as no, right? Because yes kind of says, okay, if I get to this point, and yes, go on and see what happens. Okay, no says, okay, stop at this point. Maybe says, stop at this point until there's another condition that I agree to. So like yes, no, and maybe are these weird little kind of, and we're going logical kind of conditional pieces. But you live on the yes world. You live in the like, go, journey, explore.
Yeah.
And I want to ask you now, you just said in your song there, you said like you speak to somebody in lyrics.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Well, I guess that's
It's my job. It's what I do.
Oh, damn you, Chuck. All right. Here's the lowdown. You speak to me in silence means I think silence speaks louder than words. In the sense where my subject in my piece was not speaking to me at all.
Okay.
And to me, I was like, this obviously is not working. And that, the reason why I played that song was because that song, I'm talking about a Ferris wheel. And it was this Ferris wheel in Atlanta, Georgia. And
Hey, Mom.
it was... Oh, hey, Mom. This humongous Ferris wheel is called the Wheel of Excellence. So my bass player, Paul, and another friend of mine, of ours, we were out there, and this was the one night I didn't have a show. So I was like, you guys, this was my in-between between South Carolina and Birmingham. So I had a show in Birmingham the next night. And I was like, you guys, we have the night off, like, let's go explore, let's have dinner, let's drink a lot, So, and we stayed at a pimped out hotel room at the Omni Hotel,
Nice.
where CNN is. I'm obsessed with CNN, so I had to stay there. I know, it's weird.
Okay.
But, so it's one of my weird.
Or news station.
I know. I don't know why I always
It's all good. It's all good.
So we stayed there and we had a great night. And the next day, so the Wheel of Excellence was our touristy thing of the night that we did. And it overlooks the entire city and it's beautiful. And there was just a moment where, the whole ride was like 15 minutes. But, it's going slow and you're traveling up and we're just looking out. And then we were all just kind of looking out in our own moment. Mm-hmm. And nobody was saying anything. And I looked out there and I was just thinking in my head, what that journey meant to me. On a positive level, I was thinking, I can't believe I'm actually doing this. I had planned for that for 6 months, and I was like, I can't believe I really made this happen. That was my first thought. My second thought was,
that's a wonderful feeling, and I don't want to stop interrupting your story, but I don't think enough people understand that. And I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this without really knowing the answer. I'm going to say when you were up there, you're like, not only did you knew that there was something greater that allowed you to be there than just you, right? It was the people, it was your band, it was all of that.
Yeah.
It's always something bigger than yourself. It's community. It's your team. It's always something bigger than yourself that helps you to reach a point where you can say, I can't believe I'm here.
Yeah.
I can't believe I'm here.
It's cool, and I'm fortunate that I feel like I'm happy at a lot of those moments, because but I've been working really hard, and everything I've done, it's I kind of am sometimes robotic, with the way I go about things, I don't really put much thought into it. I do it and I move along and I just try to make sure that I do my best and get through the moment. And, I just felt in a moment where I'm in this Ferris wheel, it's like a time capsule, right? I'm looking out and I'm this is so cool. I'm really doing this, and I'm so excited because I had no idea what the next 10 days had in store for me. And this was the point. This is everything I work towards. I just wanted to get to Nashville, and my fans helped me fund this trip, and it was just awesome. And I was it made me think of that, and that was the positive. And then the negative was, what was going on in my head, and it's what I left behind. And I was do I want to make changes when I go back? I'm not happy. There's a big part of my life that's not.
And it's funny because
shiny.
we talked. It wasn't you wanted to make changes, but you're sitting here saying, okay, you speak to me in silence, which means there's no communication going on. Mm-hmm. Which means that person, the subject matter of that song, was not with you in heart, mind, or soul at the top of that Ferris wheel.
Not at all.
And it's you're sitting here going how am I experiencing this alone?
Yeah.
And okay, I don't want to experience this alone. This is too good to share, to be alone. And then you're surrounded by people who you're okay, I'm not alone.
Yeah.
But you get it, right?
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I just felt so you speak to me in silence. That's where that was kind of coming from. It was kind of saying that, actions speak louder than words.
Yes.
And sometimes what's left unsaid is more painful than what's being said. And then my way of firing back was saying, I speak to you in lyrics. Did you know I had so much to say?
And have you listened to any of it? Are you actually hearing? Are you actually hearing what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And while I'm going down this road, is we're going to be talking about team growth a little bit, which is, and team is really relationship, right? Whether it's a team of people, we're sitting here doing production, it's a team of people trying to get out and clean up our community, or a team of people trying to raise a family, and they're called your mom and dad, right? So it's a team of people, however you want to look at those. And without that communication, if one person cannot have that. Last night, I was sitting around a campfire with my father-in-law, and we were talking about it. He said something, I loved it. He used the term the morality of humanity.
Okay.
And I'm okay, the morality of humanity. Why can't we have those kind of conversations? And then we went about setting down some rules. So it said, all right, in order to have this conversation about the morality of humanity, one of the things we'd have to have is we'd have to have a general understanding that says all humans have a brain. Okay, that's an easy one. All of us are capable of understanding. All right? We all have different understandings. Okay. Let's have a conversation in which we seek to understand. And if you can't have those conversations, where's the civility? Like, where is the civil nature of humanity? And then we brought it right back to the individual mom, dad, community, right? Because so often we get stuck up on words. We get stuck on a word that was said one way, you said a lyric one way, and they took it, whatever. But it wasn't about the lyric, it wasn't about the word, it was about the spirit. You wanted to communicate. You wanted to commune with others. Right? We are such relational beings that we need to find a way to communicate. And if we can't communicate, it hinders our personal growth.
Totally.
Because otherwise, we're one. It's like we're one little island because we're stuck in our own heads and our own understandings, and we can't grow on that side. Which I just went down. And you know, I'm going to jump, because this is Renewal, I'm going to jump into a rare story. So now, a little fun. Ferris wheel story of my own. So let's see, that was last year for you?
Yes.
You did that? So 22 years prior, I was down in Biloxi, Mississippi. And there was a Ferris wheel that was on the beach down in Biloxi, Mississippi. And I had my own plan that I had been planning for about 3 months. And that was to ask my wife to marry me. And I had gone out and I had bought the ring and everything else. And this is like our fun little story to begin with. And the day that I wanted to propose to her, she was like miserable. She was like, I'm not going out. But I had dragged her out. And what I had done is I had actually gone ahead and I went to the guy who was running the Ferris wheel and I paid him $20. I said, when I come here, what I want you to do is I want you to stop us when we get to the top. And if she said, and I said, you need to leave us there until she agrees to marry me.
So how many hours later?
Yeah, so many hours later, right? She did agree, and I had to take a picture. He signed that he heard it. So yeah, that's it. So our Ferris wheel story.
That's sweet.
But
What a little romantic.
it's a little romantic. It's kind of that thing, right? But there is something about the Ferris wheel. There really is. It's like you're up there, you're seeing Earth differently.
You know what's interesting? I'm actually really petrified of Ferris wheels. The only reason why, but you know what? When I think of Ferris wheels, like, or you've read Catcher in the Rye, you know, like
Yes.
in the end they're
Yes,
on the carousel.
Holden.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, like there's the carousel and there's the Ferris wheel. And it's like it goes about, you know, like it's been used in like many, you know, pieces of literature, like as, you know, a metaphor for life, and you know, like just those circular patterns and that circle of life that we go through, you know.
That's it.
It's terrifying though. I feel like the Ferris wheel goes great with that.
I sometimes feel, right, that those are the deeper conversations that people, if they could understand, life is a cycle.
Mm-hmm.
Right? We do keep going back and, you know, we keep doing things. Like you said, you're almost robotic in what it is that you do.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I really want people to say that we took that this year was all about. Was that what it is we're doing today is what is giving us the results we have today. Right? So all of the people who are out there listening, watching, tuning in, and they're sitting here going like, well, I'm not happy with X. Your actions are driving your X. Right? That's it. Like, I'm almost robotic. And I want people to really know, you've got to take responsibility for the results in your life. If you don't have, if you're not happy with X, if your financial future is not in order, come on out. We are sitting here saying, we want to help you grow your business. If your relationships aren't in order, find them out. You know, but own it. Own those results in your life, because every time you sit there and say, it's because Joe, Bob, Sue, my job, the president, the country, and every time it's somebody else, all you're doing is keeping the pattern going, which will keep you right where you are. Mm-hmm. And today I said this is a lot about legacy, and our legacy is, if you want to stay right where you are,
That is the legacy you're going to leave. And if you're happy with that, thank you. Wonderful. We need more people out there who are actually happy with the legacy they're going to leave. But if you can honestly look at your children, your grandchildren, I don't care, your community, and you can say, you know what? I can help, and you don't want to help, please check your heart. We need more people helping.
I think that's so funny, like, that you bring up legacy, because I always think about that, you know, like, when you think about the impact, sometimes you don't even know what your impact is, like, when you leave this planet, you know? And it's like I always wonder, you know, like, when, my dad always says this, you know, like, he'll be like, if somebody, like, passes and be like, if it's, let's say it's a rotten person, they pass, whoever this person was, people always, you know, they're the first to splurt out the good about them, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes you forget, like, a lot of the bad things, and everything gets a little sugar-coated, you know? But, like, I think about those people. Like, do you think those people, for whatever reason they left, if they, like, were looking down and they're, like, seeing what people, like, the good those people saw in them,
Yeah.
no matter how terrible they were, if they even knew they were terrible, you know, like, did they think they'd have that impact on those people? You know, now take somebody who, like, has done a million positive things, you know, and for all the people that might, you know, have a few bad comments to say about them, you know, and their life's mission was to, you know, project positivity and all that stuff, you know,
Right.
like, do you think they would have thought that those people could say negative things, or that the people saying all the positive things, maybe they saw something so much bigger and beyond what that person ever thought
Yes. Yeah.
they put
That
out.
actually is, Dawn should have heard that. So, yeah, Dawn, who is here today for
Take
the
that,
personal growth,
Dawn.
Dawn, you should have heard that.
That's it. That's the piece where if others, if she could see herself what others could see her for, she would just bloom.
But I don't think anybody really does. I think that's my point I'm trying to make, I guess. I don't think anybody really does know how great they are, because maybe the people around them don't take that opportunity to let them know.
And that's why. No, sorry. That's it. It's actually a big thing for me this year. Has been it's Bible verse Ephesians 4:29 says basically it says let nothing but encouraging words flow from your lips.
Mm-hmm. I like that.
It's so easy to find and say, you know, what's wrong. Here's the reality. You can find what's wrong all day long.
Mm-hmm.
We all can. Equally as easy, you can find what is good.
Mm-hmm.
And it is the thing that you speak to. It is the thing that you acknowledge that you're nourishing. Those are the leaves that are falling and nourishing the next year's life. And if all we're doing is finding what is wrong and we're speaking to what is wrong, we're telling, if it's the kid on the street, you know, over on Lyle Avenue selling drugs because that's what life has told him to do, and we're like, dude, you're a loser, you're selling drugs.
Mm-hmm.
No, you're not. You know, you might be lost. You might be misguided, but you're valuable beyond belief. You can do great things in this world, and we just need more people telling that kid that.
I think everybody, you know, to be honest, like, I'm not really religious at all by any means, like, but my music's been, like, my guiding light, you know, so I don't know, but anyway, I guess the point, yeah, I mean, I guess the point is, like, I feel like for whatever reason we're put here, you know, like, we're all put here with value and purpose, and
Absolutely.
we just have to figure out what that purpose is,
Let me ask you,
you know, what?
if we all have value and we all have purpose, and there is nothing greater, there is no God, where do we get our value and our purpose from?
I don't know. The things we do.
So we define our own purpose?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. That's interesting. We define our own purpose.
I mean,
So we
yeah.
will ourselves.
Mhm.
And what creates harmony?
What makes things sound?
What's that?
What makes everything sound? So,
What makes it sound together? Harmony is when everything comes together correctly, right? I mean, pitch problems are when you can't hit a note in its entirety, right? It's like when you can't deliver the totality of a note. And if you can't deliver the totality of a note, you're never really going to have harmony. But harmony requires multiple things coming together at once to produce the totality of the note.
But what it's producing is also something really beautiful, you know, and it's...
Oh, absolutely.
You know, like...
Absolutely it is.
You know, but it's like, that's what's appeasing on people's ears. Like, when I hear harmony, it's like when the angels sing, you know? Like,
Well, see, and that's my thing. I don't know how there can't be a God if there is harmony. I don't know how there can be something as beautiful as this world by accident, right? I mean, there's never been accident that is as beautiful as life.
Sure.
You know, that's been my little weird thing in life. I'm like, I cannot find, if this is all accidental, and just our relationship and my relationship and my son, my wonderful, beautiful son, and this is all accidental, that love is an accident, I just can't buy that. All right, well, we're off topic a little bit today, so we're going to go into, let's jump over to our team things. I want to have some fun with you on this because I think that we've talked a little about this. Actually, let's step here real quick. Donna's down here, there's some stuff. I wanted to talk a little bit about first steps for personal growth. If you could give people 1, 2, 3 bits of advice on how to grow personally, and then maybe like the first steps toward that, what would you offer?
I just think you need to have goals set for yourself, like short-term, long-term, you know, like if you have something that you're working and striving towards, then you'll feel a purpose, you know, and you'll want to work towards, like, I don't know, it's like deadlines, you know, how some people work well under pressure, you know. I think when you give yourself a little bit of structure, that helps you push towards
Support.
yeah, finding that success. I don't know, I mean, that's what works for me. I can't say
Well, no, 100%. One of the first things I would recommend, first off, I would say to this to people is be accountable. That is the most difficult thing for anybody, is to be accountable, right? It's like, I've got a friend Mike, and you know, we're working on 2 different things in life, but we've agreed to hold one another accountable to our own plans. Because it's so easy to let yourself down.
Yeah.
It's so easy.
Oh, yeah.
I'll set a goal, great, I set a goal. I didn't hit the goal, so what? You know? And then like, if I've got a meeting with you and you're like, well, why didn't you work on your goal this week? Well, I don't know. Why didn't you? Well, I did. It's kind of like a self-imposed peer pressure.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
I think that's good. I mean, I
There
really
is.
think it's good to have. I mean, I always think about that too. And you know how you said, like, I'm a yes person? The reason why I'm a yes person, like, I want to take on challenges. And I know, like, if I take on a challenge, I'm going to try my damn hardest not to fail at it. But if I fail at it, at least I tried. You know, I can't guarantee I'm going to be great at everything I try to do. But, you know, give me some brownie points for trying.
I know it's cliche, but what I'm finding is these cliches exist because they're real, and that's it.
Well, yeah,
There's no failure until you quit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the failure is your unwillingness to learn and continue forward. Now, you could be going back to that whole idea of doing the same thing over and over and getting the same result. That seems to speak to your lack of wisdom and willingness to learn. But failure, unless you quit, it's not failure. It truly is just life. And we have to learn from it. Go, okay, great, I took this step. When we think in business, how many times have you taken the wrong step in business?
Mm-hmm.
Who cares? That was
What made you learn?
That's what made me learn. And that would be my other kind of first step thing I said is like, you know what? Make a plan. Like you said, have a goal. Absolutely. Have a goal, make a plan. Okay? And work the plan. Because you'll never know if the plan works until you work it. And if it's broken, just identify where it was broken. Don't get discouraged. Just identify where it was broken and go do it again. The goal is the important thing, not the plan that you made to get there.
I think also, I mean, not to limit yourself too, you know, like when you're taking a bold risk, like to really just try it, you know, and step outside of your comfort zone and to, you know, try things that you didn't even think you were possible, you know, that were possible for you to do. Like, I mean, I've learned so much about myself by taking risks, and I never, ever thought in a million years I'd be a businesswoman, you know, but I find that I think I'm actually more of a businesswoman than I probably am a musician. And that like came about so much later, and I mean, I didn't go to school for that. Like,
I'm really glad for video, because if there was one thing I ever wanted to say to her, she just sang.
And here's the funny thing. Let's actually do a little tangent thing here. For me, I absolutely see you as a businesswoman. I see you as a promoter. But to tell you that is almost to steal that dream of being a musician. Because it's not to say you're not a musician, but you took your talent and said, I need to treat it like a business.
yeah.
And there's a lot of people who would be offended in your industry, like, oh, you're really a business person. Yeah, more than you're a musician. No, I'm a musician. No, that's not a bad thing.
I'm proud of that.
That's right.
But you know what? I'm more proud. I mean, in a way, like, music's my talent, and that's what I'm very passionate about, and that's what I love, and that's where my heart and soul lies. But I think, like, when it comes to work, music's not my work. The business end is, and that's a skill that I acquired because I wanted to do nothing but play music. So I forced myself to educate myself on business and to try these things and to take risks and just to be that yes person, to like try to get myself a little bit further so that I could do music and nothing else.
I think if people can take nothing else away about you from this season is what you just said. And it's a wonderful, if people can really, and please correct me where I'm wrong as I say this, but what I just heard you say, your talent is not your work. Your music is not work, it's your passion. It is the thing you love to do. You love to sit there and write lyrics and find music and find a way to express, if you will, because you speak in lyric. And that's a beautiful thing. All of your work, all of those skills that you had to acquire were necessary to support your talent.
Yeah.
That what you love to do. And you went out and you did that.
But also life supports my talent, you know, and I realized that, you know, like with all these changes that have recently taken place in general too, you know, like I realized the value in, hey, you know what, I'm gonna get up 2 hours earlier a day, and I'm going to go outside and go on a hike. Like my friend and I drove an hour and a half yesterday, went to Green Lakes in Syracuse,
Okay.
and just hiked for 3 hours, and it was beautiful, you know, like, I mean, I took pictures that looked like it was a postcard, you know, like, and, you know, this is my favorite time of year. I love when the leaves are changing, and to me, this has always been a beginning point for me too, because I never looked at, like, December, or, that's always, like, what follows, but I feel like every October, I kind of, like, reassess, because, you know, the summer's over, all the fun part's over, now it's, like, time to get serious and try to figure out how I can get back to the fun part, you know, better than
Earlier,
one step higher.
stay longer, right? Yeah, exactly.
You know?
How can you? Because the ultimate goal would be for you to have somebody else handling every other part of your life except for the music.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah,
Right?
I like doing it.
I get it,
Yeah.
right? But you at least like you want to be versed in it, you want to have an understanding of it.
Mm-hmm.
But if all you could do, if you know, if you were blessed in the capacity to just go do the music whenever you wanted and participate in the business when you chose,
Yeah.
there's freedom,
That would be great.
right?
That's
freedom.
probably not gonna happen.
Well, yeah, it may or may not, right? But I mean, that would be kind of a wonderful thing.
Sure.
Actually, let me just jump forward. There's one more thing that I kind of would want to tell people, if you will, is a first step. And you just kind of spoke to about getting up 2 hours earlier. And I'll get to it in just a second, but I got to tell people, I'm the type of guy that years ago, if you would have said, like, you need to wake up 2 hours earlier, I'm like, that's okay, I'll deal with the result I'm still getting. Right? Because those 2 hours of sleep, I need those 2 hours of sleep.
Yeah.
There are so many people out there right now that say, like, I need those 2 extra hours of sleep. I need to watch that TV show. I need to do this. I want to do that. What you're saying, every time you say you're unwilling to make a change, what you're actually saying is, I want the result I currently have. And if that's okay, just stop complaining about it. Right? If you want to change the result, you might have to wake up 2 hours earlier.
Now, I'm not saying you have to wake up 2 hours earlier, but if there was another step that I could tell people that this year, and why are we talking about this being the new year? Because it is. This is the time for businesses to go back into planning. That we can go in and go, what are the plans for next year? Let's make sure that we're getting it right, and let's make sure our execution is better next year. And if we keep doing that, that's the process of continual improvement. One of the first steps that I have to recommend to anybody, and this is my first thing, is like, are you serious about changing your life? Are you serious about making a difference in your life? And are you serious about success? Make a schedule. Make a weekly schedule. Get out your calendar, figure out what tasks you are responsible to complete, and block out time every Monday, every Wednesday, whatever it takes. I need X number of hours to do this, X number of hours to do this. Now some people do a little bit differently. Every week they take on a Friday or Monday. Take time to plan their week. Well, that works too. But I think if you can't create a schedule for yourself by which you agree to live, you really can't grow beyond yourself. Because the first thing you have to do is to learn to manage yourself inside of the resource which is equally provided to everybody, and that is 24 hours in a day. Now, that for me is a big, huge thing. Everybody talks about time management. To me, it's not about time management. It's about personal accountability. One of the first things I talk to people about in goal setting, like, agree. First, set a goal. Do you really want to achieve that goal? Yeah. Create a plan. Now, why do I have to create a plan? I need to know what I have to do. Once I've created that plan, great. Create a schedule when you're going to carry out that plan. And if you can't create a schedule, then you're not serious. Get help. If you're willing to create a schedule and you can't, get help. If you're not willing to create a schedule, stop fooling yourself into thinking that you want to change your life. Because that schedule, getting up 2 hours earlier on this day, you own time. Time doesn't own you. You take control of time. You go, I'm getting up at 6 o'clock to go do this. I'm doing this at this time. Now I know you keep extraordinarily busy. I'm not quite. How do you keep your calendar?
I don't know. Always at my access.
It's always there, right?
I mean, my calendar. I guess I just make sure that I put aside the time for myself in a day too. You know, like I have my time at the gym is the time that I'll also be reading. Like that's my time to like kind of open my mind a little bit. If I'm not there and I'm hiking for 2 or 3 hours instead of being there, like I'm taking in something that's going to inspire me. You know, so I kind of like intertwine like 2 different things at once, and then I have my office time where I'm gonna do my planning, and this is what I gotta get accomplished. I have sticky notes everywhere and like a million things on my desktop, you know, and then like my promotion stuff is robotic. But all the other stuff, it's like planning, I'm just trying to think, but I have to be in a quiet area. So I have my block of time for that. I gotta eat somewhere in there. So I spend like an hour in bed, and I'll try to do it with a friend that I haven't seen in a while. You know, spend an hour and a half going on a date, whether that be with a man, woman, it's my friend, you know, that I need to catch up with, and, you know, for sanity's sake.
You're very purposeful with your time.
My time is everything, you know, and it's like with who I spend it, where I'm performing, you know, like what I'm doing, it's very valuable to me, because you know what, I could die tomorrow, and if I was to die tomorrow, you know, like I did a lot of things, you know, my time was always well spent, you know?
That's, your time was always well spent, and that's what I would say to people is like, if you're serious about growing your business, you're serious about growing yourself, put time aside to read. Put time aside to read about your interest. You know what? If you want to watch TV, put time aside to watch social media about your interests. If that's all you're at right now, it's like, I just want to change. Start changing by being purposeful about your time. And then I'd say this, if you're serious about changing, and you're willing to be serious about, you know, and purposeful with your time, find the accountability partner who will sit there and go, let me look at your schedule. Painful. Painful when you first grow, because you're sitting going, well, I didn't really do this. You know, I sat here. I know I was supposed to accomplish
this thing that I thought would take 2 hours, but it took 5 hours. Why? Well, I ended up taking a phone call. I ended up getting on Facebook. Well, okay, you know what? Good. So what? That's life. But here's the question. Do you want to change those habits? Do you want to become more efficient? Or do you want to continue to be controlled by all those other weird things? So I think for myself, it is being, maybe even instead of creating a schedule, being purposeful with your time.
I think being regimented and just making the most out of your time, but I think as long as if you're doing something you like, it makes it a lot easier. Like if you're doing something you enjoy doing, there's ways of tying it. Like, I mean, my music's kind of a big part of my social life too. Like I'm surrounded by people because that's what I chose to be. Like I made my career, I want to be around people because people are, that's what inspires me. That's what, helps me learn and, expand my brain a little bit. So like I could take all that and incorporate it into my music, like that's, when I'm writing lyrics, that's what inspires me as an artist. So, like doing these open jams and stuff, like there's so many purposes to it, like where some people would just be like, I have, professional friends that are like, why the heck do you do this? Like, you don't need to do that stuff, or, and it's like, I do it because I want to.
Because I want to.
I like it, to me, it's like I meet people, I network, but I'm also, I get to play when I want. I get to challenge myself by playing with people I never would probably play with. So there's a lot of growth that goes along with all of that.
I think that right there is an important piece. I was talking to my father-in-law last night, and so I start to feel right now in life as if everything is coming into alignment.
Mm-hmm.
My work, my social life, my relationships, they're not like 15 different pieces of my life. They're all kind of one and the same.
Yeah.
And what I learn over here applies here, and what I do over there applies here. And oh, what a wonderful place to be.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
that's what I'm saying. That's what you're saying. It's like you go out, you're open jamming, you're like, all right, I'm practicing.
Sure.
I've got a little song in my head that I've been playing. Wait, what do you think about this? And you're like, yeah, you're right. I'm like, yeah.
That's the thing too. It's like I'm playing a lot, so I have to constantly up my repertoire and learn new things and keep my brain challenged and active. So like, sometimes like these happy accidents happen where somebody will be like, hey, you know this song? And I'm like, oh God. In my head, I'm like, oh my God. No, I don't know this song. But, like I'll look up the lyrics and then I'll listen to it real quick and I'll be like, okay, I can do this. I know I can pull it off. And I'll pull it off. And you know what? That's a new song that, hey, I really like that song. And now I know what the chords are. So I can just learn the lyrics, memorize that, and then take that to my next show. So that like put me a step above than where I was an hour before.
That one of the things what I'd like to do is kind of start talking a little bit about like team building, and that's kind of perfect, as you just said. When you start growing into a group of other people, and you were talking about Jerry Falzone last week. I love how you talk about him. You guys are out there as musicians and you're playing, and it's always about being around the musicians that are a little bit better than you.
Mm-hmm.
Like you want to kind of be the worst person in the room. And if your ego can't allow you to be the worst person in the room, step back. Because by being the worst person in the room, you're going to start to come up to their level. Because the people who are way up here, they want to help you because it's their passion too.
Sure.
I loved hearing Jerry talk about that. Like he was like, yeah, I'm not the guy who understands anything. I'm like, how perfect, how beautiful. How beautiful of a concept.
I think it's like a blessing to pass on what you've learned, in time. And, I was fortunate to have people that took me under their wing, like when I first started out, like Jimmy Highsmith, like he taught me, a lot of things, or like recommended me, like the little challenges that, other people blessed me with, like that's made me grow as an artist, and that's what, built my confidence over time. And I think like, I'm grateful for that. So now I'm in a position like where I've learned a lot, and if I could help somebody, expedite their process a little bit, and if they're willing to take that advice, I'd be willing to give it to them,
And that starts to speak toward what I started the show with, which is legacy. And it truly is that the people who have learned, the vast majority of people who have learned and have experience, they do want to share. Because it's not about, I'm being better than you, because somebody helped them get there. And I want people to know that
I want people to feel free from this shell of judgment that they tend to put upon themselves, right? That they put themselves in a little seed, and they're going, "This is all I am." You're like, no. You're so much more than that, and everybody around you who cares about you, they want to help. Because if you're better, we're all better, right? As a community, and I just hope that people can kind of get that.
And I think that's the thing too, you know, like it's like, what do you want to be? I want to be better at everything, like always, you know, like I want to be the best Amanda. I don't
want to be the best Amanda. I think that'd be a little weird. I don't know. I don't know that I can fit in there. Here's the bow. My wife did tell me stop like shaving, so maybe a couple weeks. I'll put the bow here. Yeah, I'll put the bow here. Yeah, well, we'll try to put it there. So, but yeah, no, 100%.
Yeah.
I don't think we always have to be striving. And I think oftentimes people think that like to be your best means you're always striving. Okay, lyricist, put this in the word. Once you've got comfortable with yourself, it's a desire to grow, not a striving. Does that make sense? Am I saying that? Right? If there's a comfort of just letting go and becoming what you are, as opposed to trying to define who you are, which is a part of the process. But it's about really just becoming, letting your true self emerge.
Yeah. And I think
such a wonderful release to that.
Oh yeah, I think, well, it's like that flower growing from that seed in a pot, you know, and then that flower becomes like a bush of flowers, you know, like a bushel or something, you know, like, I just think you're always constantly going like this, and you're growing, and your leaves and your stems will extend, you know, and that all comes from your experiences and how you treat people and those challenges you decide to take, or you know, like how you choose to move beyond, you know, those tough spots. You know, like life is life and things are going to happen, and you know it's going to be tough. But how you decide to handle yourself. You know, like you said, like there's some people that I think some people just look for reasons to not push forward because they get scared. You know, it's like you got to break down that barrier of intimidation. And
you think people look for reasons not to look for because they
people,
get scared? That is true.
Yeah, like I think some people just don't want any better for themselves. Like
wait. I don't know that they don't want better. I think you just hit it. It's like they're somehow afraid of it, or maybe they just don't believe that they can. I mean, most people want better, right? Most people want that better for themselves, but wow, what stops them from fully getting that? That's
they don't believe that they can, or they just. But that's the problem, you know. Like if you allow yourself, you know, like we're all designed to, like think positively, but you know, there's a dark side to every person, you know, and you just can't let that dark side overwhelm you. You know, like you just. I don't know. To me, I've been reading all these like psych books.
Yeah, I need to read some of the book, and you still haven't sent me the name of the book or anything to read yet.
Sorry.
So we're going into 6 o'clock. I asked if you could do a couple more songs, right?
Okay.
And you good with that?
Yeah.
All right. Then we're gonna transition. We'll probably transition into entrepreneurship because that's kind of what we're expecting to do at 6 o'clock. Now. We got to talk about afternoon cocktail, but I'm leaving that between you and that right there. You guys can figure it out. Yeah. So, yeah, exactly.
That's it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Got it.
So, all right, we're gonna do a couple songs.
Sure.
All right, I thank you. I appreciate. I want you to know first off. For me, tonight, this is, if you will, the last of our regular shows. We're gonna do a couple more Thanksgiving shows and a holiday show, and I'm sure we'll be a part of the the afternoon cocktail show. But I want you to know that we truly do appreciate it. We have appreciated all that you've done with us this year. You've brought such an energy that it's fun, it's exciting, it's hopeful, and your heart is undeniable. Your heart to help other people. And I want people to know that that's all Amanda's ever been about. She's been about trying to find people in the community that are trying to do something, and she says, let me shine a light on what it is you're doing. And I want to let you know that because of that, we've got like Christopher Williams, and we're going to be doing something with him in the yeah, we're going to be doing a neighborhood pickup for him on November 1st. We're going to ask that parents bring their children out, because it's the day after Halloween. We're going to ask them to bring their children out in their costumes, and we're going to do a little community cleanup. Then we're going to go to his Gamers Nostalgia. We're going to do a little Civics 01, why vote, and how to make good choices.
Oh, good.
You know, like a little make good choices, and then we'll let the kids play over there. And you know, we've talked about the gift, and I'd like you to be a part of this to the degree you'd like to, and see what this could be. I think for our Thanksgiving show, I'd like to make it a spoken word kind of contest.
Cool.
And I want to do a little $100 giveaway to people, and I want to they have to do a 1-minute original on encouraging people and encouraging growth, and they can kind of earn. We'll do a little audience vote, and they can earn to whoever wins that night. I think we should do something fun with that. And you brought the how does it say the gift?
The gift.
The gift, right? It says it right. So I think I'd like to see if he'd like to get involved on that.
He's awesome.
You opened up the doors with Kelly Brewer. You brought in the Rochester women, and it was through that door that was opened because of you that we met David Day.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, duh.
Right.
I was there.
yeah, exactly, right? We're all part of that. But that is where we met David Day, and I want people to know this is what the power of community. You didn't bring, Kelly Brewer down here because, like, oh, you're helping Udicci, but you were helping us. You knew that. You knew you were helping us. It is through that door that we're going to be opening in other cities.
That's so cool.
Right. It's through those.
In
routes.
Atlanta, right? Oh shit.
All right. Yeah. All right. So yes.
Just hear the guitars.
All right. Yeah. So a little bit of cat's out of the bag. Not official yet, but yes, Atlanta looks like it'll be added to the cities distributing Udicci.TV, along with likely a few others, but Atlanta definitely is on the board. And again, that was because of you. That came directly, indirectly because of you. And there's just so many other things that happen. So I want to let you know we do greatly appreciate it. We greatly appreciate all the efforts that you put into it this year. And, our hope, and I said this to you the other day, I know that we're going to be taking a break, but we're taking a break because I want to give you my best. You haven't seen our best yet. When you see our best, it's going to, I'm hoping, just give you all that you've ever wanted and more, because we appreciate what you've done for us.
Oh, thanks, Chuck.
Yeah. All right, now you can leave us with a song?
Sure.
All right.
Yes.
All right, thank you, Amanda. And let me see here. There are. Got it. Hi there. Good. How are you?
Well, this song is called Essence. This is the day after Ferris wheel. When I was driving to Atlanta, I was driving to Birmingham, Alabama, and it was the most beautiful sight I've ever seen. And I frequently think about this time because it was very serene driving, and it felt like, America, beautiful and it's friendless. It was the start of the Appalachians. It was a beautiful day, and I just felt really happy and excited. And I felt like in that moment I didn't need anything but what was in my car. And I felt like if I could just have what was in my car and this guitar, that I could survive life and live a very happy life. This is on the go, times the best, I'm back on the road. Alabama, about my shoulder, all unnecessary purchase, the mountains of the night. Alabama. Hear my sweet sound in the air, down the window with my heart-shaped strings. Alabama, send me out to the blues, got the rhythm, down the rodeo way. Hello, Memphis. Dreaming of this ocean, give it something, sparking my eye. Don't realize it's playing honky tonk for girls and beer. Everything was so beautiful that day. The world bounced on me. I had a sense of wonder on with the sun here, my skin that day. I never felt so free, so I don't wanna feel it all again. So damn bad that get with me. I'm so damn bad that get with me. And she's still walk this way. So damn bad that get with me. And no sense tomorrow I'll be on the Memphis way. Dancing on the street. She's still always trying to get time. I swear to God, I don't realize it's playing honky tonk, but we're not taking care. So damn bad I get with me. So damn bad I get with me. And she's still wanna get this girl. Oh, I don't say that tomorrow be on somewhere new with 80 cents in my dream. Thanks, guys.
Ready? Okay, we good as much.
I don't know.
You're good? No, you're calm. You're calm. Alright. Huh? You're good? Alright, and we'll be right back. We're going to continue this. We're going to take a couple-minute break, and we'll come back, and we'll kind of talk about entrepreneurship. We're going to get that from there. Alright, I'll get this line.
the night off. He said he was just going to throw questions and you were going to field them.
I'll do whatever you tell me to, Chuck. This is, whatever you want.
I just want you to relax.
Yeah.
You good?
You good?
Okay, we can throw them. All right, we're good? All right, welcome back to Udicci.TV. And now, at this point, we actually have a new studio audience that was helping out in the background, but they're actually here. And for those that really are new to Udicci.TV, just so you guys know, what we're actually doing is we're live streaming to YouTube right now. We are actually creating Rochester's only social media channel as it goes. We are the only people in Rochester who are live streaming. And as soon as an event is over, it is actually available on YouTube for people to watch, and it's available through our platform for people to watch. And you'll start to learn a lot more about our platform, because what we do is we actually use social media for the purpose of education and entertainment. And you can put together an entire TV channel using social media, and you just highlight those areas that you want to speak to. Now, all of that's not really relevant to people watching, and if you were up here behind the TV, you'd actually see that we have a script that we can follow. We have people who are watching. If they want to communicate with us, they can. We can take questions from the audience. So as a means of growing a business, this is kind of the future of social media, right? I mean, it sort of makes sense that right now we all go out to Facebook and we say, hey, look at this. But everybody really, it's all about video. Video is the catalyst of the future, and being able to deliver your message when you want it to deliver to who you want it to deliver to is really kind of important. So with that, I'll turn it over to Cheyenne.
Great.
All right, so tonight we're actually here. Tonight we're actually having a...
Cheyenne, not so easy, is it?
Yeah. We turn it over. We just got a live day. So tonight we're doing what we call Renewal, and this is the end of our regular 2014 production season. We're going to be doing a few more fun events through the end of the year, but we've been doing this weekly since February. Some fun little statistics. We average over about 4 hours of viewing on day right now, per day on YouTube, people watching what it is that we're doing. All sorts of fun stuff that are going on. But really what this has been is a catalyst for change. And that's exactly what it is that we're trying to do, is make this a catalyst for change. And as much as we're going into this new season and we're about to go into planning mode, we're actually very excited because we're launching something into Rochester that is quite exciting, and that's what we're here tonight to talk about, is a big business launch.
It is.
And do you want? How much do you want to share about that online? How much you want to share?
About my business launch?
Yeah. Anything? How about this? Why did you choose to start your own business?
That's a really good question, because I certainly wasn't looking for anything more to do. I had a lot to do in my own life. I have a very busy job. I have a busy family life. I have a husband.
A demanding husband who does nothing.
He's not working himself. So when I was exposed to this opportunity by April and Lisa, I really wasn't looking for anything. At least didn't think I was looking for anything. But as they talked, I realized that this is something that I really need to take a look at. So I did for about a month. I looked at it and I researched it, and I kind of hemmed and hawed, and I would ask April questions, and she would send me stuff, and I would do more research. And then finally I just said, okay, well, you know what, I'm just going to jump into this because this is an amazing opportunity. So yeah, that's why I did it.
A few things you just said. You did your market analysis.
Sure.
Right? Is really what you did. You took the time to understand what you were getting into. And one thing that's incredibly important is to make sure that the information which is being put out there is very accurate. So in fact, it was me who introduced you to Lisa.
The way that this happened was my husband came home after an event that he had been working at and said that he had met some really great people, said that he had met this
David was
woman that sold Rodan and Fields, and have you ever heard of that? Nope, never heard of it. Oh, okay, and then a few days later he says, well, you know what, we're going to go have some coffee with Lisa and Theo Wheeler. Remember them? Like many years ago. I'm like, yep, I remember them. You talked about them, and then also invited April. This woman from Rodan and Fields. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, let's go do that. And then on the way over there, it kind of dawned on me, and I said, did you tell her that I was interested in selling this?
Never did that.
Because I'm not.
Never did that. Not at all. And just so we're clear, I wasn't sold on Rodan and Fields, right? April said, you know, like I don't know, 4 or 5 words. I was like, yeah, that's it. She said, my business partners, Theo and Lisa Wheeler. And I said, that's it, we're good. Right now, and you have no idea how true that was. I mean, I did not. Again, we had very limited opportunity to work in the past, but oftentimes it's the heart of the people that you're in community with, who you're doing things with, that really make the difference. But if you don't have a product and you don't have a strong business behind it, then the heart maybe is just not enough. You know, there has to be something good. And before we kind of get into the business, I mean, our business model, and for those, again, you're just kind of learning about us, we're actually a technology and marketing company. We create a social platform. We teach people how to brand their business. We teach about branding. We handle branding for businesses. We teach about marketing. And one of the things for me, when I even looked at like Rodan and Fields, and it really, from a business standpoint, you can't deny it. And one of the things for myself, you really can't look at a business and just because of your opinion about a business, determine its viability or not. And when I look at this business, this is a business model. This is coming into the anti-aging market. And what people, whether you get about the anti-aging market or not, it's simply this. The baby boomers, those people and those women with all sorts of money, who have been brought up in a culture that said, stay young forever, and they have the money, and they're trying to right now figure out how to stay young forever. Like it or not, that's the trend. So what we have coming into the marketplace right now is an unprecedented amount of money that's going to be spent on skincare and makeup products to help people remain looking younger, but even more than that, healthier. So when you are doing your research, how much of that came into play of you going, you know what, that in itself is reason enough for me to move forward?
Well, it was huge. There were a few things that came into play. Number one, the company itself, the founders of the company were very reputable. They had already been very successful with Proactive, which everybody knows it's a household name now. So I looked at that and I said, okay, you know, very credible company. And then I looked at the market, which is right now, you know, the numbers are about $4 billion a year in just anti-aging products. That's not the whole beauty industry, but that's just anti-aging. And I thought, okay, well, first of all, nobody's heard of this company that's just starting with this very reputable team of dermatologists that are launching this, and a very small piece of the $4 billion pie is being consumed by this business.
Let's continue that in a moment. One of the things I keep hearing you talk about are the women who started this. And for me, the brand is very important. And a lot of people don't necessarily understand what branding means. And quite frankly, it is a bit of a nebulous concept, and it's something a lot of small businesses have had to do. But as I most often describe branding, it is simply this. It is your character in the marketplace, or your business's character in the marketplace. And that character is simply, what does your name stand for? Not product, not what products do you offer. Because you know what, you can offer all sorts of products, but what does your brand stand for? And if you will, for myself, the 2 ladies that started this Rodan and Fields, you cannot deny their experience in bringing to market a multi-billion-dollar product. They've done it. They're teaching others how to do it. And they're providing products that work. So these are some kind of like catalysts, if you will. Their brand is one that says, we deliver products that work, and we're going to help you deliver those products that work.
Right, it's very interesting because they originally started off in retail stores when they first launched their anti-aging lines. So they went retail, higher-end retail shops, and were very successful there. We're number 1 in, let's say, Nordstrom's. Everybody's heard of Nordstrom's. And then decided to make the change into a direct sales for a few different reasons. I think that they wanted to push their innovative products out through a different means, and I think that they felt a little restricted with their retail stores. Okay. And then they also wanted to help out the everyday person and help them build some wealth.
I think one of the things that you'll hear pushback about is this whole idea of direct sales or multi-level marketing, and people have an opinion of that. And oftentimes for myself, I look at that and go, okay, I hear your opinion, I can respect your opinion, but can we look at this from a market standpoint? Realistically, independent distributors have been a part in the fabric of our economy since day one. There have always been people who went out and represented other brands. I remember a friend of mine who actually, he went out and he sold tape to car dealers who were repairing cars, right? And he had brands that he represented to auto repair and collision shops. He was an independent distributor of another brand. And oftentimes people look at this and go, well, this is multi-level, I've heard of this, this is like the Amway thing. And here's the thing I would want to say to people. You're right, and it's a legitimate business model. It's licensing. And in fact, one of the things I absolutely love, because we're in the technology realm, one of the big, huge things that made Microsoft worth what it was today is that they actually started licensing their product. And licensing itself it creates massive amounts of wealth. And what they're really doing is simply building a distribution chain and allowing you to license their brand and make revenue off of it. Now, you're not licensing their brand, I'm sorry, I'm a little bit off on that, but I think the business model itself is extraordinarily sound.
Absolutely. I mean, it wasn't a question for me about whether or not direct sales works, because that's already a proven marketing strategy. To me, it was about, okay, this is a solid, reputable company that's just emerging into this market, and the market is wide open. So that's what it was for me. It wasn't about them being a direct sales company, because that really didn't matter.
It didn't matter. I mean, imagine if you wanted to start a retail store and you wanted to sell a certain brand name of bread. You would simply reach out to the company that made that bread and say, hey, can I put it on my shelves and can I sell it?
Right.
That's all this really is you saying, hey, can I put your product on my shelf because I believe in your brand. I believe in your product and what it is that's going to be good.
The other thing about this is that it's not a question of will this sell, it's a question of who people will be buying the product from. Right now, you can buy beauty products in the retail. Now, if you set up the direct sales entrepreneurs, it's a matter of who will be selling the product. So it's not a matter of who's going to buy it, it's a matter of who
you're buying it from. Who you're buying it from. And it's interesting because I often say that technology and social media is the great leveler. It levels the playing field between small business and corporate America, because it allows us to have the reach, the unfettered reach as anybody else, but we need to work at it as a team, and we need to have what we call message discipline, where we're staying on that same message together and getting that out. And what we're really seeing is that the internet is bringing us back to community, where people are doing commerce inside of their own community. It just happens that our community may be spread worldwide. But absolutely right, you will be servicing clients from all over the world, but you're going to be able to do it from your own home. And that's not something new. That's the emerging business models that are out there.
And Rodan and Fields is amazing in that they've invested millions and millions of dollars into the infrastructure to help entrepreneurs do this. And they've created a very dynamic web presence and support system for their consultants.
So what do you see as your biggest challenge to getting going?
The biggest challenge to getting going, it just doesn't happen quick enough, probably.
Impatience.
Yeah,
Impatience.
Patience is probably the biggest thing. But I think as the name kind of gets out there and people's curiosities get piqued, it's just going to take off in big, big ways.
I think that you just kind of hit on something that's highly important. And tonight, the theme of our show is called Renewal. And I'm taking it definitely after fall, right? And you know where I'm at with this. And that during the season, if you will, seeds were dropped from the trees that actually had just taken in all the energy and all the life from this year. And they dropped those seeds on the ground. And now they're covering those seeds with leaves that are providing nourishment for next year's life. If you will, they are creating a legacy. Legacies are not created overnight, but all of us want to change our life overnight. So what we actually have to have is that kind of personal It's personal growth, ultimately, which says, you know what? Just have some trust. Trust it's going to happen. Do the work. Mentor. Follow up. Listen. Learn.
Yeah, there's no reason to reinvent the wheel when you already have people that are already successful doing this.
I've tried that. It's just
do
for
what
fun.
they-
Because it's not
do
where
what
I'm
they
at.
do. Right.
Yeah, I would never absolutely. So here's one of the big things, and I know for myself, and you know this being married to me, balancing life and work is never easy. Right? I mean, I'm one of these guys 100 miles an hour and then stop and wake up the next morning 100 miles. How do you balance life, work, and business?
I think that's a good question, and it's tough. And I think that there are times when you're going to be out of balance a little bit based on what your priorities are. But I think the key to doing something like this is consistency and finding a rhythm that works and finding, okay, well, this is what I'm going to do this day. You know, basically setting your own business hours and schedule and then sticking to it.
I think that you just finding that schedule and making sure it works. I think that there's an important piece that we have to recognize in today's day and age. Social media consumes us, right? And quite frankly, we have an entire society of consumers, and we consume everything, and we can become inundated, and we can be lost on social media. And finding that balance is exactly as you just said, scheduling. It's the discipline to do something, and literally saying, and as unromantic as this may sound, let's set a date night each week. Right now, here, live on TV. No, but I think that you get it exactly right, is that you have to find that balance. But I would add this. I think finding a team of people that you can work for so that you can stay in your sweet spot, in that spot where you're talented, where your purpose and your passion meet and you can run unfettered, right? That your balance, it's almost as if your entire life came into alignment and you're able to focus on your life because your work is your life and at no point is something else being hindered. But finding and building that team, that's going to take some time.
No, that's true.
So a little bit about, let's talk about teams, because a unique concept inside of Rodan Fields is actually the team building. And you've got a team.
I do have a team. I'm part of a team. And actually, we're part of the fastest growing team of Rodan Fields, which is very exciting. And I'm part of an organization with these two lovely ladies that nobody else in the camera can see, but I can see. And they're just absolutely amazing to work with. So lots of support, and that's huge. In a business like this, where you could potentially be a little person swimming all by yourself, having a support system is...
Just keep swimming.
Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming.
But you have people to swim with you. Fish. So I think that the team is very, very important, and the support is very important.
I think that the team aspect is something that needs to be thoroughly embraced and understood. And here's the thing about the team is oftentimes you want to have that leader. And that leader of the team, they have to recognize that it's not about them taking that team, it's about the team itself. And that there's no one person who's greater in that team. If the team suffers, right, that there's that piece of it. That it's all about personal growth. It's all about coming into community with one another. It's finding that common heart and that common vision. And I know that a lot of the women you're working with, and a lot of Rodan Fields as a whole, its social mission was to help create wealth for families. But I think that there's a common theme that, if you will, a common heartbeat that I'm hearing about this team. I haven't quite put my finger on it. But there's something more going on here than simply making money.
No, that's true. Because I don't think I would be involved with something that is just about making money, because there are plenty of ways to do that. I think this is really about building, I guess teamwork is it.
So how do you get your kids on the team? How can we get our kids involved in this
Force them.
movement? Force them. I'm with that. I think that's exactly it. If you don't help, you don't eat. If you don't help, you don't eat. That's a good piece. Well, one of the things about getting, one of the wonderful thing about children is that they look at things so simplistically. And in life, we tend to complicate
processes. Like we think we've got to jump through these 15 different hoops, and our children say, well, why don't you just do it this way? They oftentimes just find the most simplistic ways. And it's funny because their heart is, I just want to get this done so I can go out and play. So I think that there's an opportunity for us to get our children involved where we are actually learning from them, right? Because we can sit there and go, you know, as adults, we do have a tendency to overcomplicate things. You know, our experiences taught us that. So I think that we can get our children involved, and I think that we should get our children involved. Looking back over history, if you will, and our small hometowns, we found that your children are my children, your children work for me, my children work for you, if there's something there. So I think that there's something about this. And in this business, your children can help.
Yes, they can, and they do.
And they do. And they should do that.
I
So
help the most.
you help the most. You absolutely do. Oh, just keep going. It's this time of year. I'm good with that. So one of the things that I know, and for not pointing fingers, that there are people in the audience. No, and I said, some people really look at failure as devastating, and others look at it as freeing. And they look at it and say, this is our opportunity to escape from what it is that I'm trying to get away from. How can we help people harness the beauty of learning?
How do we help people harness the
Leave it to you, Chuck, to put a positive spin on failure.
There you go.
You know, one of the things that I've found, and this is, I believe this to be true, is so many of these quotes that we live by and these cliche type situations that we live by, they're so true. Like, there's no failure unless you quit. Right? When I really look at life is nothing but a cycle. And we keep repeating that cycle. Then it's a matter of us finding our rhythm inside of that cycle, and it's our sound inside of that cycle, and finding out how it is that we're supposed to do it. And I think that life will keep bringing us back to the same failure until we learn it. And if we just quit, the only thing we're really doing is delaying the inevitable, or we're going to die without learning. And what I have found, what I have found is learning from our failures is the absolute most freeing thing that's ever happened. I am more free today because of my failures than anything has ever happened. So I never look at failure as something negative. In fact, I believe that many of our words have been hijacked and that they have these negative connotations. Failure to me says that you tried something. Let's do it. Let's keep it going. Failure to me says here's an opportunity to learn. But you have to be willing to learn. You have to be willing to face that what you thought to be true is not true necessarily. And you have to be willing to listen to somebody else's perspective and all of a sudden have that aha moment of enlightenment that then frees your mind that has been in bondage because you've been going down this wrong path for so long and you keep hitting yourself, keep hitting your head against the wall. That I truly don't think that failure is a positive spin. I think failure is our opportunity to a greater life. It's a weird little thing. Yeah, thank you for the feedback. That's good. So here's the thing, and I did start our show out earlier today before you guys were all here, talking about legacy, right? And one of the questions I would ask, and if you will, is how do you turn your falls into windfalls, right? And that might be one of those questions that may not, you may not be able to answer right now. But it might be one of those questions you can kind of linger with, which is exactly that. How do you let your falls turn into windfalls? Right? And can we let those failures fan success? I'm thinking about when you're starting a fire, right? You got a little spark, you got a little coal, you got a little heat. Can we fan that into a fire? Can we keep it going from there? Now, I know that you have an entire business thing that you're going to be doing here.
Yes.
But any thoughts or any questions about what we're doing up here? Now, okay, any thoughts?
No thoughts, thank you.
Yeah.
For letting me know. Questions? Appreciate that.
I guess I would say this. Here's kind of the fun thing. This is my own little plug that I get to put in here. You're actually sitting here at an opportunity to be a part of a business that undoubtedly has capacity to grow. You can compare it to other entities that are in the direct sales, and you see that there is opportunity to grow. More than that, they're entering into a major market that is just going to continue to grow. There are some products that they have just put out that are revolutionary. You're on the fastest growing team, but here's the big secret, and I know it may not sound like much. The only people in the world who have Rodan and Fields and Udicci are sitting right here in this room. And I know you don't know what that means, but Tess does. Tess knows what that means.
Yes, I do.
Yes, she does. And I say that tongue-in-cheek because you guys are largely built on social media. And we have just spent the last 4 years building a social media platform to help people share their own personal messages. So when you think about that and let that sink in, not only are you on the fastest team, but you're also sitting in front of what will be one of the strongest tools in the marketplace because we were built to help brands succeed. So, other thoughts? All right, well, I know you guys have some stuff that you want to do over there, and Tess, you've got some plans. Come on up here. Tess, come on up here, and you guys, thank you. Thank you for sitting in. I do appreciate it. All righty. Oh, you're here. Good.
Yes, I'm here.
All right.
And I had 2 people interview.
Beautiful. Because I know last week we said that we were going to turn the show over to you and you were going to take care of it.
Yep.
All right, see you.
Okay.
All right. Well, hey, just some fun stuff before I do some housekeeping things.
Okay.
For those who haven't been paying attention, I know you have been. Let's see here. This is the last show of our regular production season for 2014. We are going to be doing at least a Thanksgiving and a Christmas show, or a holiday show.
Yeah.
Call it a holiday show. Because I don't want to think like Christmas time. Maybe in December we'll do something. We're going to be doing a planning retreat, which will be kind of fun.
That's good.
Which we kind of like
We
to
do
get
that.
there, kind of those kind of things. So we've got a lot of fun things coming up, and we will be doing a lot of social events. Tim, David and Michael Miller, when is he?
October 4th.
The 4th.
October 4th,
At
Flower
Flower
City
City Grill.
Flower City Grill, October 4th.
On
David,
East
Michael Miller, and the other sinners.
And the other sinners.
And the other sinners.
Right.
Which sinners coming with it?
Two of the Campbell brothers.
2 of the
right?
Campbell brothers, Derek Bennett, Jay.
Oh, they're all gonna be there?
Oh, it's a whole band.
Oh, it's gonna be like all the sinners
They
that
have to be
night.
there.
So all the sinners are gonna be at Flower City. And I love the change of name.
Well, you know, something I just found out, because I saw Amanda upstairs.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that Flower City was the old Milestone.
Yes.
So I knew, because I asked her, so where's Flower City? She said, do you remember Milestone? I said, yeah, I know Milestone. She said, well, that's where it is.
It's right across the street from
We're gonna go out just to have fun. So we're gonna be doing that out as like a group and kind of hanging out and supporting some incredible musicians
Right.
in town.
Are we doing something for Narita?
I was just gonna say I forgot the date now. What day is October 30th?
Saturday, October 4th.
No,
No,
for
that's
Narita.
for Narita.
The Thursday before, I think it's the last Thursday in October. Just watch our Facebook page and we'll get the message out. But yeah, the grand opening of the Cocoa Room.
This is for
Narita.
Narita's opening event.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We're gonna have like a friends and family, like the week before her grand opening, all of us kind of gathering there, having a good time, seeing what she's doing, and then we're gonna kind of help her get her name out into the community. When are you opening your store?
October 1st as well.
October 1st.
And who do we have here?
My name is Dr. Santiago from Pizza and Bagels by Gyro.
You know what? I'm gonna let you interview. I'm gonna do a little ad hoc. Do you feel comfortable?
Sure.
All right. Come on up. I'm gonna do a little ad hoc change here on this. This is wonderful.
Okay.
This is business growing in Rochester. I love it.
How are you? Now you are. Let me get settled first.
My name is Dr. Santiago and I'm owner of Pizza and Bagels by Gyro.
Okay.
And then we just recently moved, we were on Genesee Street, and we just recently moved
733 East Main Street.
733 East Main.
Yes.
So where is that near? What's the cross street?
It is directly across from Sonic, right before, a little bit right past 104 WB.
Oh, okay, I was gonna say it's right near DKS,
Yes.
then the old Rapid Theater.
Actually, right next door to the Rapid Theater.
Or that right next to Rapid Theater. Now, what is your business? What do you guys do?
What we do there is we make handcrafted jewelry. We make stuff using beads and precious stones, the Swarovski crystals, and we customize whatever.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, different mirrors, the necklaces, bracelets, rosaries, nameplates.
Cool. So now we've rolled you into Udicci.TV.
Yes, I appreciate
You
it.
know, once you get in, you can't get out.
That's okay. I think I want to stay in there.
When did you start your business?
I started my business back in 2005.
2005.
And I've been doing it ever since. And it's been about 9 years in the shop now, and we just made our first move. And we're looking forward to being in a new neighborhood and meeting different people, so we're very excited.
And what's been your experience as a small business owner?
I love my experience as a small business owner. You definitely have to be dedicated and make sure that you pay very close attention because it's easily to be falling off track. But definitely hard work pays off.
All right. And do you have peer support?
I do have peer support. My parents are very much very supportive. I have a very big family support as well. My children help me out as well.
All right.
So my support system is very great.
I'm so glad that you came. I have a business. I've been in business since 2011. So it's a new experience for me. I am in that sort of that phase where you go to the next level. How do you move out of startup into just kind of functioning a little bit? And I've worked really hard at not borrowing any money, and so things are moving slow and steady. Not as fast as I'd like, and I think that goes back to one of the things Chuck was talking about. And really, you have to be patient.
Yep.
You have to be patient. You just have to just slow and steady.
But the point that you're going slow and steady is an awesome thing, especially if you're able not to borrow and to be able to do what you have to do. That's like the best feeling in the world.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Yeah. So now you stay here because I want to bring these two young ladies up. One is Tish. I'm going to let them introduce themselves. And one, I just feel I have goosebumps. Her name is Katrina Sapp. And I haven't seen her now in about 4 years.
About that, yeah.
Right, about 4 years. I call her one of my little ducklings because she used to work for me. We need 2 more chairs.
Yep.
Katrina used to work for me, and so I feel like I've watched her grow up.
Yes.
I joined Facebook and I found her, and lo and behold, I saw this person in this workout clothes and muscles, and she has her own business now.
Yes,
so I feel
do.
like she's just.
I know, and I just can't get enough thanks to her. I mean, ever since I've met her, she's been a mentor. She's been someone that will come back, and sometimes a person in leadership has to understand the responsibility. And it's not always to keep status quo. Sometimes it's about allowing change. And I can't appreciate her more for being able to do that for me.
That was one of and Tish, this is Tish. Tish is an artist. I'm going to let those two introduce their businesses, but I got to give my props to both of them first. Tish came into my life just recently. What, about 6 months ago?
Somewhere along there.
Around 6 months ago. She's an artist, and I told her today, when we get on the phone, we speak for 4 or 5 hours. And I told her I haven't had anyone to talk to like that since my mom passed away. And she makes me laugh. She makes me laugh. Katrina is used to the professional me. She's never seen the other side of me that's just kind of loose and wacky. And since I saw her last, I've become a writer. And started my own business. So this is an opportunity for her to see a different me as well. So it's really great having everyone here. So, Katrina, we'll let you start. Tell us about your business, how you started it, what it is, and how you came to be in that place.
Well, my name is Katrina Sapp, and the name of my business is Shapes. It stands for Strength, Health, and Practical Fitness Education Services. So it is a fitness business, but we also kind of specialize in weight management. I do personal training, and we hold several programs
that'll be focusing on small groups and Biggest Loser contests, just to get people motivated and focused on health and fitness and kind of changing the attitude and the culture and taking away the stigma of working out and health and fitness and the financial burden of it, and really speaking truth into what it is and making it a practical thing instead of a myth. I want to do that, I don't know how to. So I start out with a how-to list, and I do sessions, I do information not only about health and nutrition, but just about motivation as well, because I find that it's mental, and it's about results, and it's about connecting with a person so that they understand that their goals are possible.
That's beautiful.
That's awesome.
That's beautiful.
What made you decide to start your own business? And when did you start? I don't know when you started your business. I started my business officially last year. Yes, so I've been doing this. I've been doing this for a while. The Biggest Loser contest was one of the biggest crowds that I have, and we had about 30 women that signed up, and the winner lost 27 pounds in 6 weeks. So it was a very successful program, being that it was my first time out. So now I am addicted. I personally started working out understanding that everyone has their own motivation. It was just such a great stress reliever. It is. And that was my addiction to it. And I also encourage others to look at not only what your personal goal is, but look at what else it does for you. So I came out with my goal, it was just after I had my daughter, and I came out with my goal to lose weight, but it did so much more for me that now I cannot stop, and I'm encouraging others to do the same.
And her daughter and my granddaughter are the same age.
Yes.
My daughter was pregnant when she was pregnant, so I have photos of both of them with their bellies, and I have their newborn pictures. And Athena told me to tell you hi, because I just came from the PTA meeting at Canasia's school. So, Tish, why don't you tell us a little bit about what you do?
Well, I am an abstract artist. My business is more dance expression. Art-wise, I've been pretty much an artist all my life, pretty much. But as far as me venturing out, I've done that in 2010. So I'm still sort of new to the art world. But I pretty much, I love to paint on anything. But my main mediums are acrylics, silk scars, pottery, just pretty much anything on a flat surface, basically. That's pretty, how
Give me a surface and then we'll come.
Exactly. Love it. But I have a website, Will Dance Expression, put that plug out there. And I have found that trying to market it is really more of a challenge than anything else. But other than the pleasure of it, I love it. It's just something that just drives me on a daily basis.
What's the difficulty you have with marketing it?
Marketing, because I'm abstract. And most people are more prone to be more of a realist. They prefer the birds, bees, and houses and trees.
It's a tree, I know it's a tree.
Right, exactly. So when they look at abstract, you even have some people who don't even consider abstract as being a form of art. They think that it's a cheap way out of a non-talented individual that's really trying to show some type of way that they want to, be an artist, but that's not really the truth, in my opinion. When I look at abstract, to me abstract, what it does is that it engages your imagination. If you look around this room, you see anything that you can actually recognize, you've been programmed to tell yourself, okay, that's what that is. There's nothing else involved with that. But when you look at an abstract painting, it opens up your mind. You can pretty much, whatever interpretation that you get individually out of that, that's what you walk away from. You might even come back again another day and look at it and see something totally different in it. So that is where my passion is and what I enjoy.
And I think that's fascinating, because I'm a film buff and took the time to take film studies. And that's how I feel about film.
Right.
You can watch a movie one time and see it, get it, it's over.
True,
You
true.
can watch it 100 times, and each time
See
you will
something.
see something completely
That's
different.
true. So true.
And there are certain directors whose films that may not be very popular, but it's because they're abstract. So David Lynch, for example, I think it's Cronenberg, David Cronenberg.
Okay.
People always say his movies are so weird, but when I did research on him, I found out that the basis for most of his films are dreams that he's had.
Oh, there you go. And that's putting the callus of creativity. Because that's really where it's coming from. It's not, and it can come from anything that you see in the real world, I want to use that word. But at the same time, you're still putting a more different spin on it when you're doing abstract. So I can relate to that. I got to look him up. Who is he?
David Cronenberg.
Okay.
And if you watch his films, you'll say, well, "What the heck?" Are
That's
you
what I'm
familiar
looking
with
for.
it?
I am not, I don't believe I've seen
But
it.
if you have the opportunity to watch one of his films, just kind of keep in mind that these are based on his dreams.
Now he's current?
He's been around for years. He's very well known. But the thing is, people always say, "Well, what the heck is going on?" Well, it's like a dream.
Right.
It doesn't necessarily make sense, but that doesn't take anything away from its artistic caliber.
Exactly.
And so I think the way you describe abstract art is interesting. So now you're branching out into something else.
I am. There's a project that I'm working on now, and Tess is my mentor at the moment.
You are
Tess-
mentoring each other.
I mean, she said that, and I humbly say that's cool, but basically she's way more advanced than I am at the moment. She's helping me, and I appreciate it, so in return I throw little things her way. She makes me feel good and say it works.
Every now and then I have to say, but what about my list?
Right. Exactly. So I'm in the infant stages of that right now. I'm in the process of the forming the LLC, the prototype. That's the main thing I'm doing at the moment. That's going to be out by the next month. So I'm going to try to do the chess market a little faster than a year. Hopefully I can get that done in a matter of months.
You will.
Yeah.
I got the list.
You do it. You're pushing me, which I love that. So, after that is complete, then I'm going to launch it, and I'll just say the name of it is Satin Dream. So keep that in your mind, guys.
Well, one of the things that I really wanted to ask Tish, because I find myself in that dilemma. My product the name of my company is Wolf Clan LLC, and it's an umbrella company. And so one part is publishing, I'm self-publishing my own books. And then the other part of it is I invented a swim cap for people who have dreads. Okay, I fell into that, and it ties into what you were saying, because I have had so many health issues that probably about 3 or 4 years ago, I really couldn't walk very far, and I decided I needed to find a way to build my strength and get my breathing better and to be more mobile. And I was inspired by a woman who was doing a workshop on WXXI. And she was talking to women who were middle age, and the question she posed to the audience was, do you want to be able to walk when you're 80? That was what I took from that. I didn't take anything else, but the one thing I took is, do you want to be able to walk when you're 80? And I know that I can't do exercise on the ground anymore. So I went back to the pool. And I can do everything you can do. I started going to the Webster Aquatic Center. So there I can do water walking, I can do core strength training, I can do hydro spinning, we lift weights, we do anything you can do on land, we do in the water. But what I just also decided was that I was not going to cut my hair. And I couldn't find a swim cap. So I invented one. So that's how I fell into that aspect of my company, which is called, my brand is Egghead Socks. And I started out with a swim cap made of neoprene, but now I sell different kinds of caps. They all have the same design, but I have the swim cap, I have a spa sock, they're called socks. I have a spa sock, I have a beach sock, One is made out of nylon, one made out of lycra, so you can wear them to match your bathing suits. You can use them to sleep in. You can use them when you go to the spa. And I expanded the lengths, and so really it's a universal product that can be used by anyone with any hair texture. So people who are going through chemo, I had brain surgery, remember I was wearing the scarves, and they're always turning around on my head, and so I have multiple markets. And I like to, my new tagline is, its uses are only limited by your imagination. Okay? And so I'm at that next level. But at the beginning of my company, and I don't know if you guys experienced that, I had a choice, and I was working with SCORE. So SCORE was very beneficial in helping me, mentoring me in the beginning. And I had a choice. They said, one mentor said, I think you should go with the cats first, and one said, I think you should publish the books first. And each felt that the other would be most successful. And so I decided to go with the caps because I thought maybe they'd get off the ground faster. Now, what I wanted to ask Tish is because we're kind of in the same boat where we had this artistic thing going on, but then we've moved into a product. And what I have found, and I kept writing, and I have 5 books finished, and so I'm ready to publish, I just need capital. But what I have found is that as the business has been moving along and growing, my art has suffered from it. I have hardly written anything in the past year. So when Chuck was talking about how do you balance family and how do you balance these other things, one of the thoughts that came to my mind was, how am I going to get, because I used to write every night, how am I going to get back into my writing? I feel like there are stories that are being lost because I write creative nonfiction with humor. So, you know, there's going to be a whole story about Udicci.TV and all the things that happen. I've written about community and preventive medicine and adventures there. I've written all about it. Katrina and I have had some experiences with our iron levels.
Yes.
Both of us. With her it was ice, with me it was carrots. So I was eating so many carrots that I literally turned orange. I turned orange, and with her it was the scraping of the ice in the freezer.
Right.
But really what it was, we were iron deficient and anemic. That's what both of us, that's what it really was. So it was interesting how those cravings. But the long and the short of it is that's one of the things I wanted to ask you. How are you looking toward, now that you are really getting into the thick of things, the product, how are you going to keep your artwork going?
That is a challenge. There really truly is. Because with me, as I said, abstract, when you, and I'll try to explain, because I just know I'm long-winded, okay? So I don't know. With abstract, it's more or less like it's a feeling or emotion that you have to invoke in order to really get the design out there. You know, real is, you can look at that, boom, that's it. Nothing to it. So you really have to feel creative.
Right.
You know, so exactly. So when you're in the business mode and you have to think about all of the, you know, the dotting I's and crossing the T's, it takes you out of that creativity. So what I thought about doing, which I'm working on that. Okay.
And you design your jewelry.
Yeah, so you understand.
I want your take on it as well.
Hold on now, because there is a form of creativity when it comes to the fitness routines that I do. So as you guys are talking, I'm 100% connected.
You can relate to it, and especially if you're wearing all the hats.
Right.
That makes the difference.
Yes,
right,
absolutely.
Exactly. So I had in my mind, like I said, it's still in the let's do this, but not done it yet stage. Just to dedicate a day. Just to dedicate a day, I said, this is the day that I'm wearing this hat only. Nothing is going to interfere with it. I said, I'm working on that. Nothing's going to interfere. This is my day that I'm going to do the administrative part, the marketing part, the whatever you want to say. Get that out the way. Don't think about it. And then I need about another day in order to get that off my mind.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah, I just can't bounce into it. You know what that is, right? So in between that time, it'll be downtime, whatever you want to call it. And then I'll try to ease into creativity because that's where I'm at now.
And Cheyenne touched on that a little bit.
Remember
she said earlier, setting a schedule?
Yes.
She talked about setting a schedule.
Yes.
And I find that that's the hardest thing. Because before my schedule, what I did before, because a lot of my stories came out of my journaling. So before I went to bed, I would journal what happened that day. But what I had found of late, and part of it has to do with family, but I'm so tired by the time I lay down that I fall asleep, and so then the journaling is gone.
Right,
you know?
exactly.
And I used to carry, everywhere I went, if I had downtime, I would just write. And I sort of moved around.
But that seems like be effective though.
Yeah,
You know,
it is very effective.
Right.
Doctor's visits, anything that happened at that visit that day. But I understand what you're saying in terms of the creativity, because sometimes it's something that comes over you. And when it comes over you, you have to feed it. You have to feed it.
You do.
You have to
I
feed
took
it.
a class and I remember, and I was many, but at this particular art class, I was remembering a lady, right? She was in the mood, which we call it zone,
The zone.
The zone. So when she was in the zone, and right in the middle of the class, she sort of started winding down. All of a sudden, she was packing up all her stuff. She said, I don't feel the creativity anymore. And she just left. So I understood that.
Right.
When it's there, it's there. So.
And what's your experience been like?
My experience, sometimes I have to find what I'm most comfortable. Sometimes whether it's playing music or even going back to old designs or even just looking at new stuff that I can see myself making something similar but not the same exact thing. So sometimes music helps a lot, or just being somewhere where I'm very comfortable, or even around people that I'm comfortable with. But sometimes you also have to learn to shut yourself in that area to be by yourself so you can do what you have to do so you can actually get it done. Because sometimes timing doesn't always allow you to say, I'm ready now. Sometimes you have to put yourself in that position to say, I'm ready to take care of it then.
It's interesting that you said music, because that's one of the things that inspires me too. What happens to me a lot is when I'm in writing mode, I tend to write with a soundtrack in mind. And I will go through my iTunes database and pull that music, and then I can write. And sometimes it's the opposite. I'll hear just one line in a song, and from that one line, that becomes all those memories, all those different things start to flood out, and I can write through that.
Do you have a particular, I'm sorry, I'm just curious, do you have a particular type of music you listen to?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. What tends to happen if I'm writing first, when I get to a certain part, I feel a certain way. It's almost like a database in my brain that says Chaka Khan's song, and then I'll put it on. And using my computer, what I did when I was recording things is I learned how to use GarageBand. And I could pull that little piece of music out, and I learned how to loop it, and then actually record, read my piece, because I was hearing that when I was writing it. It's rare that anything, you may not know it, but when you have an opportunity to read my stuff, I can guarantee you there's really a soundtrack. There's a soundtrack. It has a soundtrack. And what about you?
There is a aerobics piece that I do. So I do about 30 minutes of aerobics, and it's not necessarily the regular aerobics that you see. So there are certain criteria that I have when I'm making these things. And I have to be able to work up a good sweat, me as the instructor. I have to be able to feel it. So I need to feel it myself the next day. And going back to connecting with the music, I listen for music that is motivational, because I think it's a 360. And you have to have a spiritual connection, because that is going to be the influence on those days where you don't want to get up.
Yes, that is so true. That is
so finding the right songs that is going to kind of add on to that spirit, and when you hear it on the radio, it not only encourages you to go work out, but you're also staying in that positive mind frame. So it's definitely the music that I hear. If I hear it on the radio, it's the same thing, and immediately there's a pattern that comes into my head, whether it's jab, jab, duck, or something like that, and then it repeats. And another element is it has to be easy to pick up on. So my daughter, who's 8, if she can get
Can't
it,
believe that.
yeah. There are times where I can sit down and certain songs she can do it all by herself, and I think that's the kind of that's what I focus on, because last thing you want to do, especially with the intimidation of just coming out, is to feel uneasy while you're there. So if you get into the routine, you feel comfortable, you feel confident, and next thing you know, it becomes a pattern.
Well, you know, it's funny that music is the common core, because one of the things that I loved about, I had to stop taking the aquatic classes now, say about 2 years ago, just because I started the business, and you know, there was so much going on in my life that my doctor said, you know, you need to pull back, because I was taking voice lessons, I was taking piano lessons, I was going to the aquatic classes 2 to 3 times a week. My doctor said to me that I should take the aquatic classes as part of my medication routine. And what I found was, at the Webster Aquatic Center, it was like a community. We became this group of people who took these classes religiously, and particularly with the hydro spinning, Carol, our instructor, she found the greatest music, and I always called it tribal music. Okay, it was tribal music, so much so that she's copied all the discs, and when I get in that mood, I just put that music on, because I just, you know. And so I tried, I went to another place about 6 months ago that's much closer to my house, so I don't have to drive it in Brighton. And I said, this way, you know, because they had the hydro spinning. Because the hydro spinning, if you don't know, is very good for your knees if you have arthritis. And I'm having difficulty walking again because I haven't been in the pool. But the music they were playing, it just
motivated you.
It didn't.
Oh, it did?
At the new place.
Oh, okay.
It was so slow, so I couldn't get in the rhythm. I couldn't, because literally, and they used to laugh at me in Webster, I would go into a zone and literally go to sleep. I could hear that music, I'm on the bike, my little legs are just going, and they would say, Tess, Tess, I'm like, but it was that tribal beat. It was that tribal beat.
Right.
But at this new place, there wasn't that. And so I said, I can't come here because it doesn't. I'm not getting that spiritual connection from the music. So I understand.
And when
what
you're
saying.
out there, you're in warrior mode.
Right.
Whether you are doing it because you want to lose weight, or you just want to trim, or you just want to push yourself, you really put on a hat that is a can-do attitude.
Right.
So
you're in a different place.
Yeah. So if you have that music that kind of it pumps with your heart and it motivates you, then you kind of become something else while you're out there. And then when you leave, part of that stays with you.
Yes, it
That's one thing that I noticed is, you know, as I'm working out, part of that addictive spirit was, it gave me a I can do anything attitude. So as I'm listening to the music and I'm working out, when I go to work, it's that same feeling. I can get through this. When there are challenges, it's that same feeling. I can get through this. So that was, for me, the connection was not only that hour that I spent, it lasted for day to day.
I love the way you said warrior. I love that.
Spirit warrior.
Yes.
That's what it really is.
Yes.
That's what it really is. So, tell us a little, where are you going from here? What level are you at? What stage are you in your business?
The stage where I'm at right now in my business, I'm trying to mass produce my product and sell it to different businesses as myself, and hopefully get my product all over. So that's what I'm hoping for right now.
Okay.
And with help of social media, my kids' website, and Twitter and stuff like that, I'm trying to move forward. So
Okay.
I'm hoping within a little bit more time, I've put in enough work that I'm ready to expand to that next level.
How did you meet Chuck? How did you end up in Udicci.TV?
I met Chuck because I came down here one day thinking I was going to a comedy show with friends.
Oh, you were here that night and you thought it was a comedy show. I was here.
I came down and I hung out for a little while, and then my friend says, well, I know Chuck, and she kind of told me about what he did, and he came over, spoke to us, and gave us like great business advice. And ever since then, I've been like, you know, longing to talk to him again and know more about marketing and how I can brand my business as well, and trying to follow up.
Okay. And I met Chuck and these guys at Soho, the Small Business Expo. And I think I was there for 3 hours. No, actually what happened was
Tim, we need to back up. Let me know that, okay?
Oh, we're fine.
Okay, I was, and I think, have you guys been to Soho?
I did. I went this last
You went
past
this
year.
past year? Did you go?
Not made
You
it out
need to
yet.
go.
All right.
As a matter of fact, they sent out an email. Did you get it?
I did not.
They sent out an email announcing the next date. It's always in April, and you should go.
Okay.
It
Yes,
doesn't. It
was
doesn't.
great
co-
meeting people.
It doesn't
networking.
cost anything. So I will tell you now, if you plan to go, now's the time to start getting your business cards together.
Okay.
Because the first year I went, I ran out of cards in the first aisle,
Mm-hmm.
and there's over 400 companies there.
Wow.
So bring your business cards, your promo cards, get that ready now. And it will probably take you maybe 2-3 hours to get
get
through
around.
to the whole thing. And I was at the table for, well, it was my second time, so I was prepared. So I was at the table for a printing company for people who self-publish. And I met Julio. Julio is part of Udicci.TV, and he and Tag have a show that comes on after hours at 8. But Julio has self-published a book, and he was standing at the table. We started talking. I found out he was from the Bronx, and I said, "Oh my God, I'm from New York City. I love the Bronx." And he went to the same high school. I mean, I'm older than he is, but he went to the same high school as my boyfriend in high school. You went to DeWitt Clinton boys, you know. And so he said to me, "Well, you need to meet these guys, Udicci.TV. They're over in the other aisle, way over." So long story short, I forgot about Udicci.TV because that was in the second aisle. So by the time I went through the whole thing, I was so tired. And I was coming by and I saw the video equipment, which always catches my eye. And I said, "What do you guys do?" But then I said, "Can I just sit here? Because I'm so tired. I'm so tired." And I sat down and Mike started telling me about Udicci. And what I loved about it was that it was the social consciousness. They were interested in giving small businesses a platform for their business, giving you exposure, allowing you to do that. And I got such a good feeling about them, and they asked me about my business, and we sort of clicked. And I've been here ever since. So now I'm doing a show. But it's, come into the family. Come into the family, because what I saw in them is that this is something that is going to grow. And in the short time that I've been involved with them, David Day has gotten involved from the social enterprise?
Social entrepreneurship.
The Social Entrepreneurship Institute for Social Entrepreneurship. And I actually met David at Soho. And so he's involved with Udicci, and the family's growing and growing and growing. And what it has also done for me is I've met so many people that are doing so many different things and learning and connecting and bonding and just having peer relationships. And they are going to have their own space soon, which is great, because once they have their own space and it's handicap accessible, and I don't have to sort of creep down the stairs and creep back up, then we'll be able to do more. So there are times when we have people who come on that do spoken word. There are people that come on. Amanda Ashley has a show. She sings. She's a local artist here who sings. And she interviews different artists every week during the cocktail hour. And I see The Gift was here on her show. And from that, I've connected with the spoken word community. And so I've met all these incredible people through Udicci.TV. So don't let this be the last time that you get involved. You have to come in and stay in touch, join their Facebook page and all the events that they're having. Just come to them, because it's a way for you to network. And by all means, don't ever come outside without business cards. Did you bring business cards tonight?
I did, but
I was
I
hoping
don't
so.
have them in my pocket, but
But you have them.
yes, I do.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. Because my score mentor, the one I have now, is extremely good. He told me if I ever come to a meeting with him and I don't have cards, he's going to end the meeting.
Yes.
He said there needs to be cards and promo cards in your car at all times and on your
Yes,
person.
exactly.
So if you order them from Vistaprint, make sure that you go through every card, because if you find a mistake, they'll send you 500 more for free. So I check everything. Now, one of the things I wanted to talk about that that I found that has been very helpful for me that Tish sort of touched on. We have started meeting weekly,
Yes.
she and I,
Yes.
because I found that I didn't have enough people to bounce things off of, and it is very hard for me. And I did recently join a support group on Facebook, which is great because I unfriended everyone else. But I joined. I was only on Facebook for I think 2 weeks, and I just wanted to take a bath and bleach. You know, I unfriended my entire family. Everyone is unfriended. Everybody's unfriended. And so I joined. You know, I'm in these 3 groups. And, you know, I do have some friends, but there's one group I'm in, it's the Lower East Side. And that's where I'm from in New York City, the Lower East Side. And we talk a lot about our childhood and how the neighborhood's changed and gentrification, and people find photos, like there's somebody was talking, remember we used to play Skelsies? And that was in the middle of the street, you know, kids actually playing in the middle of the street, then you just moved when the cars came. But I also joined this group for brain aneurysm survivors, people who have traumatic brain injuries. And that's been really helpful for me because it's been one of the difficulties I have with my business is my brain injury. I can't move as fast as I used to. I can't think as much as I used to. So I have difficulty. So these weekly meetings with Tish are helpful. She doesn't really appreciate what she does for me, but what she does for me is help me stay on task. It really does. I need someone to help me stay on task, and you know, that's why when I need SCORE, I use SCORE. So one of the things that I share with people is that you really need to have a network of people around you. Because I applied for the grant and they said, well, how do you manage it, having the brain injury and all that? I said, well, I have an accountant, I have a lawyer, I have this person, I have this person, I have this person. And they are experts in their field and they support me. So there are times when I can't do anything because of my health issues. So us having that weekly meeting, you know, she'll say, well, in this week, I'm going to do this, 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 and this. And I say, well, I'm going to do this, this, and this. So when we get back together on that Tuesday, we can say, well, what did you get done?
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
So, you know, it really, you know, if you're not doing that, it's something I would recommend that you do, because it really, really does help.
Makes you accountable.
It makes you accountable.
It does.
And not only that, you're sharing ideas.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Oh,
You're sharing.
she just helped me Tuesday. Connect the dot that I was sort of.
What happened was LLC.
That's what she told me. She said, well, what's going on with what happened was LLC? Because every time I come in, I say, well, this is what happened. You know, so I said, okay, I'm gonna get her for that one. But I do want to mention something quickly about how Tess and I met. We met through another group, which is called Voters Bar. And I do man the website, and I'm looking for women such as yourself that I want to profile, because I want to start changing and getting, you know, different women, you know, groups from, businesses from the area, and you guys will be prime.
Your sister came to the
Yeah,
presentation.
exactly.
Oh, she did?
She did. Loved it. Loved
good.
it. Yeah. Matter of fact,
That's how I kind of found it,
Yeah.
because I kept, she was talking, and I said, I know that voice.
Yeah.
And then it finally hit
You
me,
did,
and
didn't you?
I said to her, are you Katrina's sister? Because I kept hearing your voice.
Yes.
Right, exactly.
That's been following me for years.
That's great. Yeah, I really enjoyed meeting her. She's on our email list at the moment, so.
Oh, great.
If I can get you guys
Yes.
information, that would be cool.
Yeah, we meet every Tuesday at 1, and that's how I met Tish.
Yes.
And
I would love to come out, maybe do a presentation for you.
That
So
would be
that will give you
wonderful.
a kind of a visual
Exactly,
of what I do,
exactly.
and hopefully it'll inspire others to come.
Same with you. Same with you.
We're extending the same thing.
Yeah, because I'm also working with, and I want to share this as a resource for you guys, that RIT has the Center for Urban Entrepreneurship.
Okay.
Are you familiar with that?
I am familiar with it.
Are you familiar with it?
I don't know exactly, but I have heard of them.
Well, I would highly recommend that you give Ebony a call and you participate with it. They have 2 programs. One is the Future Business Leaders, it's FBLE, and that program runs through the summer, and it's for high school students. and they pay the high school students $1,000. They partner a group of students with a small business, and then you present the students with the problem you're having for them to solve. And then at the end of the summer, they do a presentation of their recommendations. So that's one program they have. The other program they have is called Capacity Building. And I just met with Ebony and signed up for that. That's a 96-hour course, and you meet on Saturday. And it's $250. Oh, RIT always had Saturday classes. But you can sign. I mean, they're just starting. The fall session is going to start October 13th. So if you're interested, you should definitely look it up. Call before we leave. I can give you her contact information. But definitely for the summer, because they're always looking for businesses to work with the kids. And the capacity building is about growing your business, and it's geared for small businesses. And the faculty teach that. So definitely get the information. And she's going to come and speak. She said she's available the 21st.
Because what I can do, depending on your guys' schedule, if not conducive to me work before, then maybe that's the meeting you can come to the Voters Walk with.
Sure.
When she's there, and that way you'll sort of be killing two birds with one stone.
Yeah, she's going to come and do a presentation of what the program is about.
Right.
And we meet every Tuesday at 1. Okay?
In the Susan B. Acton District.
And the Susan B.
I'll get directions.
Yeah.
Right.
So if you can get with Tish and schedule one Tuesday where you come and bring your stuff.
Yes.
Bring your stuff, and then you can present your stuff to the group. Same thing with you. You get with Tish, schedule a
Sneakers
Tuesday.
on.
Yeah.
Sneakers on. All I need me to do is show up with sneakers
Oh
and
my
a smile.
God. Are you serious? You know what? Then it's definitely needed. I'll make sure I bring mine.
Tim wants us to mention Voters Wall cleanup, the date.
Yes, the date is October 14th, and what we're going to do is that we're going to have that's our regular meeting Tuesday. So we're going to actually meet in our location, and we'll have our speakers on that day, as a matter of fact. And then we're going to go over in the community at the Parkland Park, which is maybe a half a block away, and do what we do. Yeah, right, exactly. So, and I will send out a blast to see if anybody's interested in participating.
And Udicci's been having a challenge, a cleanup challenge.
Yeah.
And various people have been going out and cleaning up different areas. And so they challenged Voters Walk. So we're doing Pocket Park on October 14th. Yeah. But definitely you guys should come, you should get on the schedule, talk about your business, because you want as many people as possible to know about the business. And we're going to be doing something at City Hall.
We are on December 18th. Time-wise, we still haven't confirmed that, but it's going to be on in the City Hall atrium. We're still looking for vendors at the moment. We need to determine how many. So everything is still in the beginning stages. But at this point, we're open. So if anyone interested, you will be fine. You can come set up a booth, information in order to discuss your services. Because our group does not just have artists. We have women of all different avenues of business. So
but that's a selling opportunity.
That's a selling
opportunity.
Exactly.
And it's an advertising
opportunity. Continue introduction.
And we have other people who don't sell products, but they're setting up their cards and information.
Right.
Tina sells insurance.
Exactly.
And so that's like a table that could be shared.
Right, exactly. Then we have health products.
Shackley products, things
right,
like
exactly. So once I get you guys email, then you don't get upset because I don't email all of them. So you'll be like, what's going on with Voters Walk? And all of a sudden you get 10 of them at once. Right, so, but yeah, I'll definitely love to have you guys.
Yeah, because because I met with Ebony today, so I just confirmed the date with her for her to come in. So she's coming. So if you can, plan on coming on October 21st. Tuesday the 21st. She's going to come and do a presentation on the Center for Entrepreneurship.
Exactly.
Okay, and so, but if you're interested, I would say if you're interested in participating in the capacity building program this fall, then contact her before then because it starts on 13th. Okay, so do that. But still come that Tuesday when she does her presentation, because she'll talk a little bit about the other program as well. Okay. Yeah, and I'll tell you, the students are great. You only have to meet with them 2 times. You meet with them the first time, and they have the full body of students there, and you do a presentation to the full body of students about what your business is. If you have products, bring your products. Then they assign a group, and once the group is assigned, then you meet with the group, and then if they have questions, then they contact you, and then at the end of it, they have sort of almost like a graduation ceremony, you know, and they do their recommendations. I mean, it was so fun. And they did. They told me, one of the kids said, you need to get your website translated into Spanish. One did, well, I play hockey, so hockey players could use your band underneath their helmets. And so there's a lot of ideas that come from the young people, So definitely.
That sounds wonderful.
So this has been great, ladies. Yeah, this has been great. So Tish, thank you for coming.
Thank you for inviting me. I enjoyed it. I thought I was going to be nervous, but I'm not.
See, I told you. She said, let's keep going. Before we started, she said, you expect me to be up there an hour?
Right.
And I said, you, the person who can talk for 3 hours.
I can't talk that long.
You have to tell me what I need to talk about. I said, you're going to be fine.
I did.
So it was great. It was really great meeting you. So, like I said, get involved with Udicci.TV. So wonderful seeing you again. So Tish, what's the name of your business? MoondazExpressions.com.
Now, Beads and Bagels by Gyra. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, and our website is www.gyrusbeads.com.
And I am Egghead Socks, spelled with a Q, www.eggheadsocks.com.
And I am Shapes, and you can reach me at shapes585@gmail.com. You can call me at 350-4071. And also on Facebook, you can reach me at CESAP, that's CEESAPP, and you can get connected to the Shapes Online Fitness Group.
Very good. Thank you, ladies. I have a new family.
Yes!
And that's a wrap up.
I want to talk to you real quick here before we take our break.
Okay.
If that's okay. And actually, what we'll do here, we'll just kind of like join on.
Yeah.
So this is kind of like the last.
Oh, ladies, this is Chuck. Hi, Katrina. This is Chuck.
Hi, Katrina.
She's one of my new ducklings. She used to work for me way back when.
Oh, beautiful. You don't look like a duckling, but you are beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
All right, yeah, we've all met. So tonight is the last of our weekly shows, our regular shows, and now we're going on to our planning stages. So Amanda kind of spilled the beans. I think you know this. Next year we're going to go into a planning stage next when we open back up. We'll be opening in Atlanta. And we have distribution now. We're going to have people carrying it in Atlanta and probably some other cities. So that's some really exciting stuff that's going on. But I wanted to, and we're going to be doing a Thanksgiving show, and we're going to be doing a Christmas show. We'll be doing some other stuff between now and the end of the year, but really we're just going into a business planning mode right now to really kind of catch up. Our first year in production has been incredibly wonderful.
Shoestring budget.
Shoestring budget is absolutely true. But I want to just take this opportunity to say thank you. I don't know how much I hope you appreciate how much this year has meant to us. You have really just touched our hearts. You are truly, my mom's on here, you are like my other mom now, and I just truly love all the stories that you share. You are out there, you are our greatest advocate, undoubtedly.
I hand out their business cards.
Absolutely you are, and if it wasn't for people like yourself, the encouragement, I just want people to know how far encouragement goes. You know, when you find somebody who can get behind what it is you're doing, who will take the time to understand, and Tess will be the first to tell you she still doesn't get it. Right?
I used to tell people, you gotta get involved with them. I'm not exactly sure what they do, but.
and that's it. Like there is so many moving parts to what we do that nobody understands it in its entirety. But it is just through, I mean, you have just opened the doors to so many people, wonderful people. You've made so many connections to us. But it's really been the encouragement. It's really been you coming out each and every week and just being willing to have these conversations with us, to kind of follow down this journey with us, that we just so appreciate and love you. So I wanted to let you know, thank you for
And you know what's the best? I think the best way to describe Udicci.TV is that we are Udicci.TV.
Yes, you are.
When someone says, what do they do? Well, this is what we do. We are Udicci.TV. You know, and this thing is going to grow. You know, now's the time. It's the same thing like Cheyenne was talking about. Now is the time to get on board and take advantage of an opportunity to have a platform for your business. You know, there are other things that have started in the basement. Right? Did Microsoft start in the garage?
Yeah. HP started the garage.
Yeah. So,
and that's exactly right. It's our goal, is our hope, is that anybody who helps us as we grow is for us to help them. And you know, so if you will, we get to kind of now next year we help open Atlanta for you. You know, and that's exactly how we're doing.
Did you promote the Rehema Home Walk for Saturday?
No, we did not. Would you like to do that?
That is Saturday. Rehema Home is having their walk Saturday in the Webster Ponds Park.
Can we?
I know.
Not sure, hold on a second, I'll tell you.
There's a park called Webster Ponds Park. It's Webster Ponds Park, and I'm not sure what time it starts. Go on their website, but it is this coming. I'm one of the sponsors.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, very nice.
So it's this coming Saturday.
This Saturday.
Yes, this coming Saturday.
Golf or walk? No. I actually played golf twice this week, which is up by Fountain.
That's enough.
That's the first, for me it is. So with that, and I'll give a shout out to my mother who's tuned in.
Hi,
probably more than
Mom.
anybody else. Dealt with us through all of our little idiosyncrasies in the system, so that we're working on that. But
Don't forget thanking all the people for the year.
thank you.
Julio, Tag.
Oh well, yeah, we do. Well, I did that earlier. Julio and Tag, they're not here tonight.
I know. I missed Tag's little.
Yeah.
Tag has a bald head, and usually when there he is. Speaking of
There he is. Hey, the stars here.
Chuck and I do a show together. And they come on at 8. And whenever we're here, when he comes in, I'm talking, and I see his little eyes going across the TV right there. And I say, will you cut it out, Dad? So thank you.
Thank you very much for coming on tonight. Thank you for helping closing out the year for us. And
Thank you for having me.
absolutely. Yeah. Our theme tonight was renewal, because as we see this, we are going in into, this year we planted a seed. Next year we're growing an orchard. Right? And that's it, right. So we're very much, if you will, renewal to us is all about legacy, and we hope that tonight is just the beginning of many great things to come. Yeah, so.
Build a community and you'll grow.
Absolutely. So thank you very much, ladies.
Thank you.
We do greatly appreciate it.
All right.